Dear guests, the floor is given to Flyweight, National Italian Federation President.
Con piacere voglio salutare tutte le autorità presenti, i tecnici, gli atleti che hanno partecipato a questo prestigioso evento. E nello stesso tempo voglio ringraziare tutti coloro che hanno reso possibile la costruzione e la realizzazione di questo evento, quindi dal comune di Roseto, degli Abruzzi, dalle strutture alberghiere che ci hanno ospitato, da tutti i collaboratori, compresi ovviamente i collaboratori della Presidente della Federazione Internazionale AIPA, dell'EUBC, della Federazione Italiana, che hanno contribuito a realizzare questo straordinario e prestigioso campionato europeo. Spero, e lo dico con estremo piacere, che questi eventi possano ancora realizzarsi in Italia, perché vuol dire avere un legame stretto con quello che noi consideriamo la nostra casa e la nostra famiglia, la Federazione Internazionale dell'AIPA. Per questo io ringrazio il Presidente dell'AIPA, il Presidente dell'EUBC, e nel contempo, per chiudere l'intervento, vi complimento con tutti i pugili che hanno combattuto, con i loro tecnici e con quelli che devono ancora combattere. Vi faccio un caloroso in bocca al lupo. Grazie.
Dear President, it's an honor for the Italian Boxing Federation to host the prestigious European Under-22 Championships in Italy. I thank all those who worked hard for the success of the event. In particular, the representatives of the municipality of the Roseto degli Abruzzo, the organizing committee, the tourist facilities, the collaborators of AIPA and the EUBC offices. I hope in the near future we'll be able to host international events in Italy, also for further strengthen within AIPA family. And finally, I want to congratulate the officers who have fought, and good luck to those who have yet to fight. Please welcome the President of EUBC.
And now I declare open the final of the European Under-22 Boxing Championship.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of Italy. And welcome, Tana Malapena.
Well, good evening. We are ready for the first match of the second session of this final.
Okay, so welcome to the evening session, the second session of the finals at the 2021 EUBC European Under-22 Championships here at Palamaggiati in Roseto on the Adriatic coast. We had 10 good finals earlier on, and the gold medal table after that stands at 4 for Russia. We did think it was 3, but the welterweight title bout, which was originally won on points by Maxim Molodan of Ukraine, was changed to a win for Ivan Stupin of Russia, which was the right decision, and one each for Italy, France, England, Germany, Ireland and Poland. And after some opening remarks there from the EUBC president, the AIBA president and the head of the Italian Boxing Federation, let's get our first final underway. So this is in the female bantamweight division, and this is Caroline Crivellier, the #1 seed from France, very experienced fighter, one of the fighters who was right on the cusp of the age limit, qualified last year and has been allowed to box this year at 23 years old. Silver medalist at the 2019 Women's Senior World Championships, bronze at the 2019 Euros, so she's got a lot going for her here. But she faces hometown opposition in Giulia Lamagna of Italy, the #3 seed, who's had some good wins herself. 2020 Italian elite champion, boxed to those 2019 Euros, so plenty of top-level senior experience and accomplishments for her. And we saw a gold medal won in the earlier session by Giovanna Marchesi of Italy. Final checks for these two. I'm Andy Clark, alongside me Ron McIntosh. Saw some good fights in the earlier session, saw some good fights. Good to see that welterweight decision overturned on appeal. It was the right thing to do, we don't need to dwell on it, but it's nice that the systems work properly. But we saw some good boxing.
Most certainly, plenty of skill, plenty of variety, and so much determination and desire in evidence from these athletes in a bid not just to claim top spot on the podium, but of course, as has been the trend since the Asian Championships that were held in Dubai recently, all of the boxers in action here today competing for cold hard cash, because bronze medalists came away with a share of the spoils, but for gold medalists here at the championships, not only will they get championship gold, they will get $8,000 US as well. And that's quite an incentive, along with the glory of getting your name into the annals of this particular championship.
Absolutely not to be sniffed at all. 4,000 for silver medalists, 2,000 for bronze medalists. So here we go, Crivellier of France in the red, Lamagna of Italy in the blue. Crivellier boxing out of the southpaw stance, Lamagna 2. Lamagna can tend to switch a little bit. Good start here from Crivellier, who's popped her with that left hand and also with that right hand up close. I've seen both of these two in Ring B over the course of the last few days, and one thing about Lamagna is she does stand quite tall with that chin up in the air a bit and can tend to pull out in straight lines, and Crivellier is going after her here right from the very beginning, which is interesting to see. Maybe she's seen something in Lamagna that she fancies as a weakness, but she's looked aggressive from the beginning. She beat Anna Kunjua of Georgia by unanimous decision in her previous fight. Before that, it was Elizabeta Kartashkova of Russia by split decision. All 5 scores 29-28. And she kind of grew into the fight against Kunjua. Didn't make a great start, but after that got to grips with things. And she's gone hunting here from the beginning, looking for that jab, and then there's the right hand on the inside. The referee just warning about putting the shoulder in. Lamagna wasn't really ready there, as the referee said box on, and she's maybe been caught a little bit cold here. She is a kind of languid fighter, one of those fighters who doesn't ever look like she's in a particular rush, uses those feet pretty well, and now beginning to let her own hands go a bit more. Crivellier had most of her success in the first 30 seconds or so. Since then, she's found it more difficult to catch her opponent clean. She is quite temperamental, Lamagna. I noticed that in her in the semi-final too. She does tend to wear her heart on her sleeve a bit. Left hand there from Creveillet didn't quite reach. As we head into the final minute, the Italian just trying to pop that jab. I don't think there's any doubt as to who's winning this round. It's the fighter in red who just finishes with a left to the body there, and again trying to crash that 1-2 down the middle. And she's working at a rate that La Magna is just finding difficult to deal with. She's waiting a bit too long to get her own punches away. Creveillet with a cocky little smile on her face there as the two come up right close and personal as we head into the final 30 seconds. La Magna got past Anna Budimir-Beckan of Germany by a split in her semi. Pretty close fight, I thought. La Magna deserved to get it, but wasn't a huge amount in it. And she just pinned on the ropes there, and that is not where she wants to be at all, because Creveillet just goes up top. Yes, the gloves are up, but then she went down to the body and found that left hand. Well, there goes the end of the first round, and Creveillet came out really aggressive there and never really let up.
No, she sustained it throughout the course of the 3 minutes. Very good performance indeed. Terrific punch picking. La Magna had her moments, but they were sporadic and short-lived compared to the sustained success of Caroline Creveillet, and as a result, 2 scorecards of 10-8 in her favor. The 2019 World Championship silver medalist demonstrating her variety there, and particularly effective getting over the front foot. Jumped out of the blocks all over La Magna and didn't give her any respite. Not just naked aggression. You saw during that replay the ability to slip. Here's a nice check right hand from La Magna, but overall, Caroline Creveillet in complete control over that first 3 minutes. This woman has got to find something different.
Absolutely, a couple of 10-8s in there. It was that kind of a round where you would say it was kind of on the cusp of the 10-8 maybe. I'm not sure I would have gone there myself, but I can understand why the 2 judges that returned that score did so. The way that Creveillet has come out here again at the start of the second round is exactly the same as the first, and I just wonder whether there's maybe a bit of history between these two somehow, because it's almost like right from the beginning she's just determined to jump on La Magna and just show her who's boss. Show her, you are not on my level. That is what she seems to want to achieve here, and she's achieving it effectively so far. Opening 30 seconds of round 2, got into nice distance and let her hands go, and the referee didn't say break there, and La Magna is kind of trapping the arm of Creveillet a little bit with that left arm. That's what the referee's gesturing to there, and La Magna's beginning to look a little bit sorry for herself. She just can't really get anything going. And Creveillet has won that opening minute by an absolute mile. Looking for a big left hand there, Creveillet. Didn't quite manage to land it that time. Looking for a sneaky little right on the inside there, La Magna. That was a decent shot. The referee, I think, might take a point here. And he does for holding. And that point has gone from La Magna, so the ship is sailing over the horizon really for her in terms of getting a win in this fight. She's absolutely miles down now. Unless she can turn this second round back in her direction, then come the conclusion of it, she'll be 3 points down with at least 3 of the judges. Combination there on the ropes from Magna. Just tucking up on the ropes, well, not tucking up, just retreating to the ropes as she is again here, and then comes forward with those gloves held a little bit higher, and Creveillet just setting her feet, banging that left into the body, and there's nothing really coming back from the Italian here, just working her hands on the inside, manages to find a little uppercut, but there's nothing on it really. There's something wrong with the head guard there, I think, so the French corner just tightening up that chin strap slightly. That's what that was about. La Magna looking out towards the crowd at ringside. Creveillet missing with that left hand. Interesting that she's done her most effective work right at the beginning of each round. The first 30 seconds in both rounds so far, she's just found the perfect distance and landed a 2-3-4 punch combination. she's completely dominated this fight, heading into the final 20 seconds. And again, a long left hand there. Lamagna's got those hands down, as I said. She stands quite tall. That chin's a little bit high at times. Lamagna this time just thrown to the canvas as we tick away the final few seconds of round 2. And this is quite an unusual one, really, because this is a final of a major tournament, and it's completely and utterly one-sided. And Lamagna, I don't want to be too critical, but she just doesn't really look like she wants to be in there.
Very strange display. You can see her corner coach trying to get something going. Is it the pure skills of Crivellier? Is it the occasion, the magnitude of competing here at home? Personally, I would have made that a 10-8 round in favor of Crivellier. I thought she was utterly dominant, stamped her authority in the early stages, and really, this was the expression on Lamagna's face. It's as though she wanted to be somewhere else. Take into account the 1-point deduction. That's 10-8 effectively for 4 of the 5 judges, plus a 10-7. That portion we just saw on the replay screen, where she was standing up, not really doing a good job of blocking the shots, but absorbing them, catching them to head and body. She's looking very dispirited, rather forlorn. She needs a miracle here in this 3rd and final round.
Absolutely, she needs a knockout, is what she needs. So into the 3rd and final round, Caroline Crivellier of France in the red, Giulia Lamagna of Italy, the number 3 seed in the blue, Crivellier, the number 1 seed. Haven't had too many number 1 seeds go all the way through. It's been an interesting competition on that score. Crivellier again just moving those feet nicely. Hasn't made the gung-ho start to round 3 that she has to the previous 2, but she knows that she is absolutely out of sight here. The only way she can lose this fight is if she somehow gets disqualified. Lamagna backed up to the ropes again there, did at least get her gloves up that time, but the volley of punches came in from Crivellier. I did mention earlier on that she is a heart on the sleeve type of fighter. I could see that in her semi-final. But she's been behind the 8 ball here right from the very beginning, and her confidence has just never grown into the fight. Crivellier just stamped on it right from the very beginning, and maybe she knew. They're familiar with each other, these two. They've been boxing in the same competitions for a good while. Maybe she knew that is the kind of fighter that Lamagna is, very much a confidence fighter, and if you get on top of her early on, then you can take it away from her, and that's exactly what has happened. Crivellier has been excellent. We're talking about Lamagna's shortcomings, maybe a little bit too much, reason being that it is a fairly curious performance, but you've always got to give maximum credit to the winner, and that's quality work there, going down to the body and then switching the body shot into an uppercut. But there really isn't anything coming back, so Crivellier is able to do pretty much as she pleases. Very experienced, of course, with that silver in the Women's World Championships in 2019. Senior World Championships coming up later this year. We believe that the women's will be in October sometime. The men's is scheduled for, I think, October the 25th or 26th through to November the 4th or 5th, around about that time. Be interesting to see what happens in both of those post-Olympics. You can see completely new lineups for national federations, or relatively speaking, after fighters turn professional after the Olympic Games, which of course a lot of them do. Right hand there, short right hand from Lamagna, hitting the midway point of round 3. Crivellier just standing off, looking for that jab. She knows she doesn't have to do anything else, really, for the remainder of the fight. She's got this one in the bag and has had for quite some time. Nice jab, flicks it up from the waist, up jab, straight through the guard. And Lamagna just buffeted back into the ropes. Crivellier confident. Just bowling across the ring, that left to the body again there as we head down towards the closing stages. A jab there aimed by La Magna, and Creveillet able to slip that one comfortably. Nice little feint with the front foot there from the Frenchwoman. And this is going to be a gold medal for France. Strong French team, big French team, send over. Just looking to aim that left hand one more time. And she's taken her foot off the gas in this third and final round. Still won the round, that's for sure, but kept something in the tank there, and that's the most comprehensive win we've seen so far today.
Sensational performance by Caroline Creveillet. From opening bell to last, she simply did not present La Magna with an opportunity to get into the contest. Came steaming out of the blocks in the first round, maintained that dominance and indeed increased it as the round went on. And in the second round, she applied the same tactic. And La Magna just not given any glimmer of an opening to try and showcase her skills. Cavalier dominating her in practically every department, not presenting any opening. And you can see the body language between the two boxers so demonstrative as we await confirmation of what is going to be a gold medal for France.
Unanimous decision. The winner is red corner, Caroline.
So there she gets it. I saw her walk into the arena not that long ago, what, an hour and a half ago, something like that, and she looked confident then, to be perfectly honest, and it's turned out to be well and truly justified, because that is a wide margin. 3 rounds to 0. There's a point deduction and some 10-8s in there as well, and those are the most comprehensive judges' scorecards that we've seen so far today. So that's the opening fight of the evening session. That was in the women's bantamweight division. Next up, we have got the women's featherweights, the second of 3 women's fights this evening. The other 7 are in the men's category.
So tonight's MC just introducing all of the officials. Remember, we have 5 judges seated around the boxing ring. It's the 10-point must system that is in effect. 1 boxer must score 10. See the volunteers who have done a terrific job all tournament long here in Roseto. Some of the activities backstage. These boxers and their contingents warming up. Media responsibilities being taken care of as well. We're going to remain in action in the women's tournament, and we move to the 57-kilogram featherweight division. This one between boxers from Finland and Italy, and the woman wearing red is Vilma Vittinen. Comes to the boxing ring with a history of taking European Junior silver in 2019 at 57 kilograms in her homeland. Took national youth gold 2 years later at 64 kilograms, part of a 6-strong boxing team representing Finland. 2 women, 4 men. Vilma Vittinen has been very impressive in Ring B en route to this final.
She has, particularly in her semi-final against Valeria Deviataikina of Russia. There were 3 scores of 19-19 heading into the final round, so it was all up for grabs. And Vittinen just kept her composure really well. Deviataikina gassed and had a point deducted, and she took the win. This is Serena Charabi, who again had a good win against Anastasia Kovalchuk of Ukraine in her semi-final. Swaggering to the ring, looks full of confidence.
Most certainly the 22-year-old comes to the ring as the 2020 reigning national champion. The Italian national championships held in February 2021, took that title in the 57-kilogram division. Born in Tunisia, moved to Italy at 18 months old, and she got that national title and Italian citizenship in quick succession. She's been part of the national team since 14, but here, having been granted Italian citizenship, she's competing in her first European competition with the team. It's a terrific story. And as Andy said, she's a confident character indeed. So she's just getting her equipment checked. Serena Charabi. What a moment for her. What a year she's looking to cap at this midpoint of 2020. National title, Italian citizenship, now going for continental gold. Vilma Viitanen standing between her and top spot on the podium. So we're underway then. 57 kilogram action in the featherweight division, and this one between boxers from Finland and Italy. Two southpaws facing off. You can see, looking to establish that long range is Viitanen. Dropped down with a right hand to the body, wasn't too far away. Charabi content to operate off the back foot as she's slipping and sliding left and right, circumnavigating the ring, taking the long route around, but look at her step in and get to work with punches underneath and around the corner there. Very good cluster indeed as she continues to operate on that back foot. Drew the lead from her opponent wearing red, looked to counter, but neither boxer really found the range. So again, sharp left hand not too far away from Charabi. Viitanen looking for her own range, but just falling short on her attempted straight punches to the torso of her opponent. Now targets the head. Charabi turns the tables, trying to pin Viitanen to the ropes. And remember, this contest being contested behind closed doors, as it has been all week long in Rosetta. We're at the Pala Maghetti, and the atmosphere that is being generated here is from the teammates of the two boxers in the ring. And of course, there'll be plenty of home support for Charabi. Just looking to box off the back foot and pick Viitanen off as she advances. She worked her way through from Viitanen's attempted clinch. Viitanen right back onto the front foot, feinting with that front foot and lead hand. But another clinch ensues, but it's Charabi who is keen to work on the inside. Just beyond the midpoint of the opening round, and the pattern resumes once again. Viitanen looking to cut off the ring. Charabi content to box on the perimeter. She springs out of that corner with a forward foray. Piston-like punches as she made her way back to center ring, but now she's content to operate near her own corner. She was walked onto a two-shot combination there. Head guard was swiveled from side to side by the sharp punch picking of Viitanen. So just over 2 minutes gone in this opening round. Increasing amounts of clinching punctuating the action. Viitanen tried to disengage with a sneaky right hook, but couldn't quite find the mark. That flashing right hand did get through, not too solid, but it inconvenienced Charabi. Charabi still continuing to shape up nicely. She's on the back foot and shimmying side to side once again. Well, that's a cracking southpaw left from the woman in red. It was countered by a right hook from Charabi. And again, it's Viitanen who is invariably looking to make the fight. And in the minds of some judges, that is a criteria they often use if it's pretty close in terms of clean punches landed. There's a left-hand, right-hand combination for Viitanen, arcing punches that both landed. Very good opening round of boxing. How'd you see that one, Andy Clark?
Well, I would shade to Viitanen in that round. I just thought that possibly Charabi is a little bit too full of adrenaline. The circumstances you outlined with this being a big moment for her, and of course in front of an Italian crowd, she's really, really pumped up. The judges, though, have all gone with Serena Charabi. I can see it. You know, it was a close round. I just thought in the second half of it, Viitanen managed to land the more telling blows. What she's really good at, Viitanen, from watching her before, is that she's calm. She will stick to her boxing. She will stick to her game plan. Against Divya Taikina, she was maybe behind in that fight, but she just stuck to what she was doing. It began to take effect. As I said, Divya Taikina gassed towards the end, and Viitanen got the win. So she won't panic about dropping that opening round there, Viitanen. Although I do make her unfortunate not to at least get a split there. She's just got to stick to what she's doing, and she will find out if Charabi can keep this going, basically.
So into the second round then. The woman in blue swept the opening round for all 5 of the scoring judges. Viitanen immediately back on the front foot. Southpaw left just short of the range as it grazed past the chin of Charabi. Charabi looking to score with that sneaky jab. It's in and then she's on the back foot immediately, but she's not really found a range with it yet. And again, her back continues to skim the ropes. She sprung off, but then she takes a big left hand there. And while she was looking at the advertising Toblerone where she perhaps tripped, she was clipped by another punch as well. So vital that you keep your concentration on the woman in front of you who's coming forward looking to land shots with bad intentions. There's that sneaky jab again. As Charabi, to begin this second round, it's almost as though she's not fully committed to it. We know she possesses terrific footwork, but she's almost trying to land it, but not fully extending, and so conscious is she of avoiding the reply. So minute gone in this second round. The best shot of the round has been landed by the woman in red. It was a southpaw left. Charabi not too far away with her own southpaw left there. And Charabi's got to be careful that she doesn't get accused of being a boxer who's looking busy but not doing anything, because there's plenty of movement. She knows what she's doing. She's shaping up wonderfully, but she's not really scoring with any effective offense. And if she continues on the back foot without landing any offense, as she gets on the front foot now, well, I was going to say it could be perceived, it could be interpreted and construed as being a negative performance. So if you are a back foot boxer, on occasion you've got to hold your ground, maybe back up the front foot pressure boxer. There's a nice corkscrew right hand from Charabi in response to a southpaw left from Viitanen. She has come forward once in this round, but again, with the lack of effective offense, there's an effective cluster off the ropes. She has to be careful that this doesn't wander into the performance of perceived negativity. So a clinch at centre ring before the boxers disengage. Viitanen remaining. Oh, that's a terrific combination ended by a southpaw right from the woman in red. Charabi bites down and goes for her payback but can't find a range. She's breathing through an open mouth. She's got that loose-limbed lollygag style as she's flitting around the boxing ring. But from her perspective, I'm not sure she's doing enough effective scoring here. She's had a couple of notable bursts of activity. There's a nice southpaw right jab, but she takes a southpaw left once again, and she comes off second best in that trade-off. She tried to keep the attack going, but couldn't find a range as Viitanen was backing up. 10-second clapper has sounded. Viitanen with a cheeky little flicking right jab once again. Charabi off the mark. And as the bell sounds to conclude the second round, well, I make that a round for the woman in red.
I do as well. It wasn't too different from the opening round. I thought she dominated the first 90 seconds of it. She did have a good pocket there, about 30-40 seconds, from about a minute and a half till 2 minutes 15, something like that. Charabi does throw a lot. She lets her hands go a lot, but as you say, not that much of it has landed. A lot of it is kind of thrown to keep Viitanen off her, because Viitanen's always on the front foot looking to come forward. It's not that Charabi didn't have success in that round or in the first, because she did, and the judges found her way in that opening round. But Viitanen, for me and for you, is picking her punches that bit better and is on the front foot and just kind of looking more like the boss. But Charabi gets it 10-9 across the board again in round two, and I'd imagine they will communicate that to Vilma Viitanen. They wouldn't necessarily have told her she dropped the first round, because she did well. You know, you want to just keep doing what you're doing. You don't want to panic a fighter, but they'll have to have told her now.
So we're going to the third and final round then. After 6 minutes of boxing through the two completed rounds, both of them have been scored unanimously in favour of Serena Charabi of Italy, the woman in blue, with a commanding lead on the scorecards now, and quite simply, the woman in red needs a dominant final round. She flashes that luminous green gum shield as she goes in pursuit of her opponent. But we know that Charabi is a wonderful mover as she makes like a limbo dancer to slide away from that shot that came in her direction. And the qualities that has served us so well throughout this tournament. And here in rounds 1 and 2 on full display now. Because for Viitanen, it's like trying to catch a hold of smoke. Simply can't get to grips with this slippery, wonderful mover wearing blue. And that is what she needs to do. Look at that, simply cannot close the distance. So Viitanen's going to be advised to keep the attacks going, because single shots are not going to be enough. Intelligently tied up by Charabi when she got into punching range. Minute gone in this second round, and Viitanen, to her credit, is trying to quicken her feet and raise the tempo. But Charabi doing a terrific job using the space of the boxing ring and just keeping her opponent off kilter and off balance, so she can't get to work with the heavy onslaught that she needs. Charabi just allowing herself to catapult off the ropes, initiating another clinch, flings her off with that right forearm, and now gets back beyond punching range once again. Managing this third round very well indeed, and now begins the showboating, not to disrespect Viitanen, but to try to demoralize her further, as if to say, well, look, you can't catch me cleanly. We both know the context of the bout, and I am now playing to the fans here, playing to the home spectators who will be tuning in on television here in Italy, and this is going to cap a wonderful 2020 for Serene Charabi, because she is not holding her feet for a second, and Viitanen simply cannot get to grips with this wonderful mover up in the boxing ring. So inside the final minute now, I have to give Viitanen credit. She's never stopped competing, but Charabi here on home soil, up on her toes and full of energy. She will have been inspired having taken the first 2 rounds. There's a stiff right jab poked out. Viitanen continues to pour it on, continues to try to close the distance. And how about that from Charabi? Spinning off the line, landing with a southpaw right, and now continuing to employ that same movement of spinning away from confined positions. She has used all the space of the ring absolutely to terrific effect. And Vilma Viitanen, well, she's tried to close the gap and get her own offense away, but Charabi is inspired. She's energized and keeps that movement going. She takes the southpaw left there, but Viitanen, the more the time elapsed, the more she needed a single knockout shot, unable to find it. And there's the bell to conclude this gold medal bout, and it is going to be another gold medal for Italy. Absolutely no doubt that Serene Charabi will join Giovanni Marchesi on top of the gold medal rostrum in terms of Italian gold medal winners. A very clever display in that third round to manage it and see that winning margin over the line.
Absolutely, she boxed well in that third round. That was her best round of the fight, I would say, because not only did she move well, she also picked her punches well, and there was just a little bit more composure about her. Viitanen came at her just like she did in the first couple of rounds, but she boxed a good fight in that final round. I think Viitanen was just unlucky not to get anything out of those first 2 rounds. They were close. I just thought she was unfortunate to get nothing from the first 2.
And there is confirmation of a unanimous points decision victory for Serene Charabi. What a wonderful moment for her. The woman who just gained her Italian citizenship earlier this year. So despite being on the national team for many years, she's competing in her first continental event with the team here, and she has gone all the way through to the top of the gold medal rostrum. Serene Charabi is the 2021 European Under-22 champion. Vilma Viitanen of Finland comes away with silver. Good tournament for both of the boxers.
Absolutely, absolutely. So now we move on to the men's flyweight division, where we will have Maxim Halinikev up against Akhtem Zakirov. Ukraine against Russia, that usually delivers. He's had 4 contests already, Zakirov. A number of fighters have managed to make it all the way through. Right from the start, no buys. Doing it the hard way. So this is Maxim Halinikev. And Ron, this was a fighter. Both of these fighters actually appeared in your ring over the course of the last few days. And what have you made of these 2?
Well, Halinikev is a very clever southpaw indeed. Counterpuncher, won his semi-final over the tournament, #1 seed Yasin Radev with a clever counter-punching display. And he's acquitted himself very well throughout the tournament to arrive at this gold medal bout full of confidence. 2018 Youth Olympic Games silver medalist and came away with European Youth gold in 56 kilograms right here in Roseto. So a happy hunting ground for him. Well, this man, Aktem Zakirov, an out-and-out pressure fighter. You can see from his build, very compact, very muscular, very strong, and he engaged in a phone booth brawl with the tournament #2 seed Cosmin Petra Gerlianu. Prevailed on a unanimous decision victory, but it was 28-29 across the board. Terrific boxer, skillful in the pocket, bobs and weaves, and possesses every punch in the book, but you rarely see this man take a backward step.
Well, as I said, both of these two have done it the hard way because neither of them were seeded, and they've both come through having to take out highly ranked opposition, taking out the top 2 seeds between them in their semi-finals. And as I say, Ukraine against Russia always adds that kind of extra element to it. And it's the Ukrainian in Halanikev who is in the red, Zakirov of Russia in the blue. You can see across the ring there's Zakirov, a very compact flyweight. We've got an orthodox fighter in Zakirov against that southpaw in Halanikev, and contrasting styles here immediately. You just see Zakirov there, as Ron's been mentioning, just tuck up, get those gloves, clamp to the side of his face, bob, weave, dip low at the waist, try whatever he can to get inside that longer range of Halanikev, who is taller, more upright, holds those gloves quite high. The elbows do tend to come away from the ribs a little bit, so the body, I think, will be a profitable area for Zakirov to try and attack. He comes in quite square. It's that peekaboo sort of style, isn't it, really, which can be difficult to defend against. Halanikev, though, picks him off with a left hand there, throws the right hand and moves off to his right. Zakirov, though, kind of crab-like, gets down as low as he can, peeking out between that guard so that he can see what's coming his way. But given his stature, this is a way that he will always have had to fight. Lead right hand there from Zakirov, did get through. For the most part, though, he struggled to get onto the inside. Nice left hand there from Halanikev. The interesting thing for him about boxing someone like Zakirov, and these two would have seen each other before, is that you're always punching down. So if you do shoot that jab, you've got to try and punch it down or drop your own height a little bit maybe. And that's why he needs that uppercut. When he threw that uppercut a little bit earlier on, he's got to be able to mix it up, because that jab is not always going to do the business for him. It's difficult chopping down with a lead hand. And again, Zakirov getting low. Left hand to the body that time from Halanikev. And he's doing a good job of dealing with the problem in front of him so far. Zakirov with a little short right hand on the inside. Just gets up a little bit too close there. And that's the challenge as well for him, is that when he does get inside that reach, he's still got to have room to work himself. He doesn't need a massive amount of room because those are fairly short levers he's got, but even so, if he gets right up tight there, for example, there's not much he can do. Although, having said that, he did just sling in a little left hand there, which managed to find the target. And there's something wrong with the boot there. I think the Velcro's maybe just come loose. So 46 seconds remaining. Again, just dipping low at the waist there, but he doesn't dip over. He just gives in those knees, takes that height down, but he's still got that head up so he can see exactly where he's going and what he's trying to do. It's a tiring way to fight. It does put a lot of pressure on the legs. That lateral movement is a sapping way to go about things, but as I say, this is something you'll be very much used to. Halanikev just finding it a little bit more difficult to keep him off right towards the end of the round there. Zakirov again crabbing forward, gets a left through to the body, hooking and moving off to his right there. Halanikev, right hand there for Zakirov was a decent shot. Last few seconds, and I'd go red corner with that, but encouraging signs towards the end for blue.
I concur with you, Andy, on that one, because my goodness, it's so difficult to keep this man away. And as the round progressed, once we had the resumption after his bootstrap was adjusted, Zakirov was noticeably getting closer, and his sheer physicality and intensity and front foot pressure. Well, Halanikev has taken it on a 3-2 split, judges 2 and 3 preferring the work of Zakirov, but the way he concluded that first 3 minutes, well, I think that bodes well for he and the blue corner, because Halanikev is going to require all of his wherewithal to keep that little bundle of energy at bay, because he's coming forward with educated pressure, and he was getting inside this man's reach, and all of his strength was tested tying up the compact Zakirov in the early stages. I think we're poised for a fascinating 2 rounds here.
Me too. The split scoring there just in favour of Halanikev, but that will give Zakirov plenty of encouragement, and again he comes out quickly at the start of round 2. We know what we're going to get here. Halanikev knows what he's getting. Zakirov knows what he's getting. It's a here's what I do, try and stop me kind of method that he's got. Halanikev, I would say maybe has just got to dig those toes in a bit more and try and, it sounds very basic, but hit Zakirov a bit harder, because he's not discouraging him from getting onto the inside. Zakirov there with good physical strength, got hold of his man and ragdolled him round into the neutral corner a little bit. But what Halanikev did in that opening round, it worked well, particularly when he used that uppercut. Holding, and a point goes from Halanikev for holding there. It's early in round 2. It's a harsh call, that, I think. Officials this week have been very quick to take points. They don't, generally speaking, give too many warnings. They do what they see as fit, and they are up there in the ring. They've got the better view. Halanikev, though, losing a point, and that makes it absolutely imperative now that he doesn't lose this round. But he's being hunted down right to the body there from Zakirov, heading up towards the midway point of round 2. Zakirov gets his head right on the chest there, and I mentioned in the first round he needs to have enough room to get his work done. He can get his work done at that kind of range. Head on the chest, the angle he's coming in at, he's got just enough space. The referee telling him to keep his head up. Now, if that's something that's going to cause him a problem, then we could see a point go for him as well. Halanikev catches him at good range there, though, as he comes in, hitting with the uppercut. Hits him with a nice lead right hand there, then a good left hook and rolled away. He's got some good skills, the Ukrainian. This continues to be a very interesting battle. This is a close round again. Same formula, same dynamic. We knew it would be. Zakirov just comes forward, never stops coming forward, but there is a method to it. As I say, he's got that kind of peekaboo style. And the fact that he comes in quite square on with that low centre of gravity means that it's difficult to tell where the punches are going to come from. He's in a position almost to kind of punch off either foot, off either side. Good left hand on the way in there. Caught Zakirov. Zakirov again just busies himself up. But Halanikev got some good work done there. Right hand from the Ukrainian, but then the combination came back from the Russian up top and then down to the body as well. It's an absorbing fight to watch, this. It really is. The referee just having a word with the pair of them there, splitting them into the final 10 seconds. And this has been another close round, and like the first, Zakirov is just doing his better work, really, his more consistent better work, probably towards the end in the last 20-30 seconds there, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw more split scores.
And that interpretation, well, that taking into account the point deduction, Zakirov, again with that front foot pressure, probably taken a share of the round. Well, he's taken it across the board. So that, having won it 10-9, you take the point deduction into account. That is a 10-8 round in favour of Zakirov. And so look at the state of the scorecards going into the final round. He's up for 4 of the 5 judges, and he's got a 3-point margin of advantage for 2 of the judges with 3 minutes to go.
He's got it in the palm of his hand, Zakirov. 2 scores of 20 points to 17, 3 scores of 19 points to 18. So what Halanikev has got to do is he has got to win the round with those 3 judges who have got it 19-18 to Zakirov, level that up at 28-28, and then hope that all 3 of those judges' decisions go his way. That's the only route to victory for him here, because those other 2 cards have gone unless there are multiple point deductions or a knockout, basically. from Halanikov. And Zakirov swarming forward as he has done in those first 2 rounds. That was a close round again, that second round. It was a close round. Zakirov, as I say, is maybe kind of an easier fighter to give rounds to, just because of the way he is always on the front foot. He is always proactive. He's always kind of compact. He looks in control of what he's doing. He's got terrific stamina, because fighting the way he fights, he makes it look pretty easy, but physically it's very, very demanding. Jab there from Halanikov. Digs his toes in and whacks in that left hand as well, the Ukrainian in the red. And he's having his arm clamped there on the blind side of the referee by Zakirov. He managed to spot that one, can't be blamed for that. Another good left cross there from Halanikov, who has hit Zakirov plenty. But the maximum impact you have when you hit Zakirov really is just to momentarily stop him in his tracks. And there's the example of that bob and weave style that he's got again there. Just dipping those knees, getting underneath the left hand, rolling away to his right hand side, just past the midway point of round 3. And when they're up at that kind of range, there's not really anything that Halanikov can do. Zakirov has always got half a chance of just shrugging his opponent off, creating that few inches really that he needs. Left hand there from Halanikov. Zakirov though had got his right glove up, and he's got to be careful here, the Russian, because the referee has spoken to him about a number of different things now, and it's possible that he could lose a point in this final minute. And if he does, then that can make things very, very interesting. And that's another telling off for hitting around the back of the head or holding around the back of the head. Halanikov found good distance there, led off with the hook, and then looked to try and just shoot that left hand straight down the middle. So the referee telling him to keep his head up, and how many times is the referee gonna warn Zakirov? The point went from Halanikov really quickly for holding at the start of the second. And Zakirov has been spoken to on a number of occasions. And again, well, talking to, and she's going to take the point now. There goes the point. I did say it could be coming. And that could make things very, very interesting on the balance of the boxing in this final round. Again, there's not been much in it, but given the way the judges have gone up until this point, I would expect that they will probably favour Zakirov, who finishes it off with a big leaping lead right hand. So the point off definitely makes it interesting. I do think that final round will probably go to the blue corner. It's a very close round.
I preferred the work of Halanikov in that final round. I thought he spun off, I thought he presented angles, I thought he dealt with the educated pressure of the man in red very well. We've got the point deduction to take into consideration. This one on a knife edge. Zakirov, having done his bouts previously, his final round against Julianu was identical. And that's how he won a unanimous verdict, 28-29 times 5. Here's confirmation as to who's the champ.
Well, the blue corner gets it. It was 20 points to 17 after 2 rounds in his favour, and there were 3 scores of 19 to 18. So the Russian fighter has got it with the top 3 scores, and Halanikov got it with the bottom 2 scores, and split scoring in that final round. So that is so close with that point deduction. Basically, there were 3 scores of 19 points to 18 in favour of Zakirov going into that final round that he needed to turn around Halanikov. The point deduction gave him a really good chance of doing that. He won it as well with the judges, with 2 of them. If he got it with the 3rd, then he would have achieved the seemingly impossible there and turned it around. But it was a good fight, that. Really good fight. Well, catching up with Umar Kremler backstage, he gave some opening remarks before the start of the second session. The EUBC president, he's been here, there and everywhere in recent times. Plenty of news coming out of headquarters about various things that they are concentrating on going forward to improve the transparency and the integrity and the honesty of the sport. That's something that's extremely important to him. They just announced the investigation into Rio 2016. Men's bantamweight's up next.
So we are in the 56 kilogram bantamweight division, and making his way to the boxing ring is Adam Hestian, the Irish boxer, actually progressing through to the gold medal bout on a walkover because his opponent, the tournament #1 seed Paweł Brak of Poland, sustained an injury to his ribs and so wasn't able to take up his place in the semi-final bronze medal bout. So Adam Hestian, the 2019 Irish Elite Senior Gold Medalist, competed in the 2019 Under-22 Championships on the continental stage and lost at the quarterfinals. Here, he's gone through to the gold medal bout, as has his opponent, Artur Bazian from Armenia. Participated in the 2018 World Youth Championships, was a quarter-finalist in the 2018 European Youth Championships right here in Roseto. The 20-year-old is the tournament #2 seed, and he prevailed on a hard 3-2 split decision over Alexei Kiselev of Russia. 28-29 times 5. 3-2 in his favor, and that is how Bazian, the tournament #2 seed, boxed his way into the gold medal bout. This man didn't have to box at all, so he's certainly going to be rested, and you can see the badges of battle all around the eyes of Bazian as he prepares for this gold medal bout. Sometimes, of course, I've said that Hestian will be rested. Sometimes boxers like to remain in the flow and just keep it going when they get momentum, because Hestian was sensational in his quarter-final win. But here we are in the gold medal bout, 56 kilogram bantamweight action between boxers from Ireland and Armenia. And look at the educated jabs being fired in by both men, giving you an idea of the kind of contest that we could have on our hands here. Two very cultivated, skillful boxers indeed, working for their openings by feinting with the feet, with the hands, and with the eyes as well. Nice jab to the body from the man in red, who is showing terrific composure here, but he takes a counter right hand. He answers right back with a counter right hand of his own, but then there's a right hand left uppercut from Bazian, and the right hand was certainly a scoring shot as he scores with a long straight right hand to the body. Terrific punch picking from both boxers in the opening minute. Oh, terrific straight shot selection from Hestian. Boxers falling into a clinch, trying to work away on the inside of both men. The referee hip to the tactics being employed by Bazian as he tucked the arm of Hestian beneath his. So just over a minute gone in this opening round. Nice left hand on the retreat from Hestian. Terrific skill in evidence from both of these boxers, now roughing it up on the inside, showing each man that they're not going to back down from the physicality. Bazian getting some good shots off during that coming together. Hestian on the back foot, picking his punches well. Bazian closes the distance and crowds his man once more. So good left jab on the forward advancement from Bazian, and look at that for a stiff broom handle of a left jab from Hestian in response. This is absolutely terrific boxing to watch. Both men enjoying plenty of success. Hestian turning his back on his man momentarily. He was short on that forward foray, but his final left hand did get through as Bazian looked for a right hand over the top. Bazian coming forwards now, short of the range, as was Hestian with his attempted counters. Inside the final minute, and the quality has been incredibly high so far. Box fighting in evidence from both of these men as they're having straight shot successes during those trade-offs. Wide-eyed and concentrated is Bazian as he comes forward, bombing with that backhand. Hestian scores with a long straight right to the body. Good right hand over the top from Bazian. Hestian comes back with the same shot. Hestian on the back foot, looking for a bent arm left jab, couldn't quite find the range. The right hand was long that he attempted as well. So approaching the 10-second clapper now. Bazian making a concerted effort to keep his head out of harm's way, marked up around the eyes and the eyebrows is the man in blue. Oh, big backhand landed by Bazian during that coming together. Untidy tangle will conclude this first round of action. As Bazian goes in search of that backhand once again. Terrific round of boxing where the quality was incredibly high.
It was fantastic, absolutely fantastic, and I did wonder at the start whether Bazian might just like a left hook a little bit too much, but both of them have exhibited just fantastic all-round ability throughout the course of that opening round. We may well see some split scoring. It's difficult to pick between them, to be honest. I thought that probably the first minute and a half, Hessian had the better of that, so the better of the first half of the round. The second half of the round, I thought Bazian came into it more, and he gets it with all 5 of the judges there. I mean, I can understand it because it was very, very close and it could have gone either way, but it's a blow that for Hessian not to get something out of that first round. If you can nick a card in a close round or 2, even if you don't get the majority of them, that can be really important. So that's big for Bazian to get a real close round with all 5 judges.
So the teammates of Adam Hessian up on their feet, encouraging their man, the man wearing red, who has conceded the opening round unanimously, but make no mistake, he is very much in this contest as he works to the body effectively, and nobody will know that more as a solid left hook lands from Bazian that swiveled the head backwards, and there's a jolting left jab landed by the man in blue as Bazian comes forward and bombs away with the backhand once again. Terrific portion of success for Artur Bazian, the tournament #2 seed. And there's the right hand once more. So Hessian, while I was mentioning the fact that Bazian knows he's in a contest despite sweeping the opening round unanimously, well, Hessian knows that he has just conceded that portion of the round due to the punch-picking prowess of the man in blue. So he's got to keep his composure now and trust his skills, trust his shot selection. Just got to set his man up as Bazian scores with a right cross that stiffened the legs of the man in red and brings about a standing count. Well, Artur Bazian has really found the range with that backhand in this second round. And on that occasion when he landed it, he just caused the legs of Adam Hessian to stiffen slightly. So worrying moments for the red corner now, because their man has got to weather not quite a crisis, but concerning moments, because Bazian is really measuring him effectively with that right cross. And Hessian walks into a shot and takes a second standing count. Remember, in elite Olympic style boxing, a maximum of... Oh, and he's been stopped. Well, Hessian's not happy. He wants to compete and continue the contest. But Artur Bazian's punch-picking effectiveness with that right cross has brought about an early conclusion to this contest, and it is the man from Armenia who will be crowned as the gold medalist here. Adam Hessian was in the first round every second of the way. He conceded it unanimously, but once the second round got underway, this man really did begin to find a range with a long, strong, crisp right cross, and ultimately that brought about 2 standing counts, and the referee has called this one off. There is your European Under-22 champion, Artur Bazian of Armenia, scoring a second round stoppage RSC.
And that second round from Bazian, the first round was absolutely fantastic, brilliant standard of boxing exhibited by both. Didn't have any problem with Bazian getting it across the board. I thought Hessian was a little bit unlucky not to get something, but in that second round, wow, he just clicked up a gear, and he can obviously really dig, because when he landed on Hessian in that second, you could almost see that energy bar eroding every single time that right hand landed. He's got some power there, and accuracy, and technique. You know, he is one to look out for, absolutely, really is.
So it's a silver medal for Adam Hessian, the man from Galway, going better than he did in the 2019 championships, where he was eliminated at the quarter-final stage. But the man who will be the gold medalist is Artur Bazian, the tournament #2 seed from Armenia.
Judge 2, Belarus. Judge 3, England. Judge 4, Bulgaria. Judge 5, Romania.
And next up, we've got the men's lightweight division, where we've got Mustafa Akrar of the Netherlands in with another Italian fighter, Francesco Iozia. We've had good success from Italian fighters. Marchesi won a gold medal, and we saw another one just a few minutes ago from Serena Charabi. Akrar boxing for the Netherlands, got through on a split in his semi-final against Artis Gomsi. And then again, this involves two fighters who were enduring in Ring A over the last few days. And how have these two impressed you?
Well, this man has been a revelation, absolutely sensational. He eliminated the tournament #1 seed Artis Gomsian on that 3-2 split decision. Prior to that, he eliminated the tournament #5 seed when he won on a unanimous decision over Marochan Georgic, and he has been absolutely sensational. Was speaking to his coach during the course of the tournament. Born in Syria, lives in the Netherlands, only walked into a boxing gym in 2017, and this is his first tournament. Only small hall shows, 8 of them before this, and he has marauded his way to the gold medal bout. Devastating body puncher. Here's Francesco Iozia.
Well, Iozia, of course, has got this significant home support, which we've seen inspire a couple of Italian fighters to gold medals already. I think one thing that's important when you're boxing on home turf in a situation like this is that you don't let it get to you too much. You've got to make sure that you keep a cool head in that hot kitchen, and this kitchen is hot, believe me. It is absolutely sweltering.
Just see that mark around his right eye, Andy. That was a cut that was opened up in round 3 of his quarter-final. And no doubt that will present a target for Mustafa Akrar. Contrasting styles we're going to see here. The man in red sets straight about his opponent and looks to go to work. Watch for his left hook to the body, because it's a cracking shot.
So here we go. Red corner, Mustafa Akrar of the Netherlands. Blue corner, Francesco Iozia of Italy. Akrar immediately looking for the body with that right hand, tight, high guard. And again, left hook to the body, as you mentioned. Didn't take too long for him to get that one away. Both of these two in terms of the way they set up, are quite similar. Gloves up mainly around the head, elbows lifted, displaying a lot of body, so that left to the body for Akrar could be a good shot. Iozia just sticking that right, but off the back foot. There wasn't really too much on it, skirting around the edge of the ring, just feeling those ropes on his back at times there. Iozia. Akrar just beckoning to the referee there about something, not exactly sure what. Akrar plants that left foot wide and looks to try and wing that right hand in from a wide angle, right to the body there from Iozia. It was a good shot. Good boxing from the Italian there, took his feet back and found the opening. Akrar is aggressive, you said he would be, and he's not let us down. He's constantly going after his man, trying to adjust those feet, getting where he wants him. But Iozia looks quite comfortable off the ropes, actually. You always wonder when a fighter gets backed up to the ropes whether they really want to be there. It's a difficult thing to do, but he looks fairly okay with being under fire, which he is at the moment. Aims a big wide left hand there and then stabs to the body with a right downstairs. Midway point of round 1. Akrar's been on the front foot all the way through so far, and in terms of punches landed, it's probably been fairly even, so you would give him the edge at this point. But a nice little uppercut there from Iozia, followed by a left to the body. Akrar just comes in with a raiding mission, but again there's an example of Iozia looking comfortable enough boxing off those ropes. He just sinks into them, finds a little bit of room, and when he's up at this kind of mid three-quarter range, Iozia, really that's where he wants it. He is taller of the two, but keeping it right on the outside doesn't quite suit him. When he's on the back foot like that, he just tries to sling in that right hand, throw that right to the body every now and again. It's just a little bit half-hearted, like the hook we saw him throw there. Akrar comes in with a big overhand right, but the referee has a quick chat about punching with the palm of the glove. The referee says exactly the same thing to Francesco Iozia into the final 30 seconds of round 1, and this has been an interesting round. On the front foot has been the fighter from the Netherlands, Mustafa Akrar, and as discussed throughout the course of the afternoon and evening, judges do, or can, tend to prefer that at times. In terms of who has landed what, and that's really all that matters, then this has been fairly level. Akrar maybe just taking it away from Yozia a touch towards the end of the round here, but the Italian comes back with a right to the body. Good round, good opening round.
Very good opening round. I thought Yozia was very effective using the ring, going to the ropes, and I thought he managed to just keep Akrar off kilter and do enough to take the round. Very clever display from this man. In his performances I've watched in Ring A throughout the week, he's been a very good punch picker. Well, he's got it on a 4-1 split. Akrar wants to get closer, but I just thought the movement laterally and backwards, and as you say, kept his composure under fire and was able to find gaps between the hands of the man in red. He will keep on coming, make no mistake about that, but there's an example. 2 shots to 1 in that exchange, and Akrar's was a glancing blow. Thought it was a very good display from Francesco Yozia during the first 3 minutes.
The style of Akrar, if anything, suits him, doesn't it? Because he is comfortable on the back foot, he's comfortable off the ropes. He looks less comfortable when he has to come forward himself. It's all a little bit kind of non-committal when they're in the centre of the ring and he tries to drive the action. But Akrar will just keep coming forward. He only knows one way. He's that kind of fighter, you can see that. So he's going to have to put Yozia under some serious pressure. But again there, that's good from the Italian. Nice right hand there though from Akrar. Just stepped in with that, kind of arced it up and over the glove. The body work for Akrar hasn't really told just yet. As I said, there are gaps to the body for both of these fighters due to the fact that they like to hold those gloves up pretty high and tight. Akrar's made a quick start again, but Yozia isn't fazed by that. He steals the right hand to the body, looks for the uppercut, wasn't quite close enough for it. Again, just backing up to the ropes there. The right hand almost caught Yozia there from Akrar, but he, I think, just in time slipped off to his right. So when he gets caught at that kind of distance, Yozia, where they're stock still in front of each other in the middle of the ring, he doesn't quite know what to do because Akrar hasn't led off and he wants him to, and he's kind of thinking about doing it himself, but it's not long before Akrar just comes steaming forward again here. And Yozia looks for that right hand, tries to aim that uppercut, hasn't managed to land that just yet, but I do make that a good shot for him because Akrar can tend to dip quite far forward as he comes in. Back foot leaves a canvas there for Akrar, who's working ferociously hard in this round to really try and put it on Yozia, even more than he did in the first round. Nice bit of body work there as Yozia, for the first time really, just backs Akrar up, pushes him down towards the ropes. They're getting a little bit of a tangle in centre ring here. They're just leaning on, and that doesn't look like much, but that kind of encounter can tell you a bit there. Yozia was just leaning on Akrar, just trying to make him give a bit of ground. Neither one of them did really, but in that situation, normally you would kind of back Akrar to take control of it. Big right hand over the top there from the Netherlands fighter. He looks for a right hand to the body as well into the final minute of the round, and he almost leapt into an uppercut there, Yozia. Just touches to the body, Yozia, and then goes with the uppercut. At that kind of close range, strangely, it's the Italian who looks that little bit better. Sometimes taller fighters prefer it that little bit closer. They can get that good kind of leverage. Both looking for uppercuts. Left hand there just about got through from Yozia. Yozia catches Akrar with the left hand as Akrar was on the way in. And having dropped that first round, he's given in absolutely everything here, Mustafa Akrar, and he desperately needs something on the scorecards. He got it with one judge at the end of round one, and Yozia celebrates as he goes back to the blue corner. And if he got the casting vote in the first round, then he should get it in that one too. I
think so, but I actually thought it was a good response from Akrar. But again, this man is no mug. He knows what he's doing in the boxing ring. And again, well, the response has been a 3-2 split in favor of Akrar. So it's all square for 2 judges. Akrar leading for 1 judge, and the man in blue leading for the other 2. So those two 19-19 scorecards are going to be critical, but I thought it was a very good response from Mustafa Akrar in that second round. He landed some big singles, jolting jabs, right crosses over the top, and credit to Yozia because he's managed to take a lot of steam out of the front foot pressure that Akrar characteristically likes to bring, and that's why we have such an intriguing seesaw battle.
Well, it's those two 19-19s that are absolutely key now, and Akrar needs both of them. Yozia needs one of them. It's as simple as that, because he's got 2 scores of 20-18. Akrar's got 1 of 20-18. If there aren't any point deductions, and neither one of these wins this last round by a big, big margin to invoke a 10-8, then that's what we're looking at. It comes down to those 2 scores of 19 apiece. The Italian needs 1. The man from the Netherlands, well, he needs both, and that left to the body just slipped it in after looking for a bit overhand right, but Yozia just digs his toes in there, throws a left hand, but walks straight onto a straight left himself. It's been a fantastic fight, this, right from the start. The work rate, the tempo to it's been terrific. Neither one of these two at any point has looked to step up and have a rest. Nice right hand there from Yozia, just bounced onto his back foot, came straight back off it, and threw that right hand. Akrar just trying to busy up those feet, just trying to find that sweet spot to the body. Nice left uppercut there from Akrar. And then Yozia just gives him one back. I don't think he's got through quite as clean. Akrar looking to work the body, and they're right on top of each other here. Heads on each other's shoulders almost, shrugging each other off, finding a touch of room to work. I like this from the referee too, because he's just letting them get on with it, not interfering. He knows this is a final round. He knows they're tired, they're going to lean on and maybe nick a couple of seconds rest at any point, but other than that, he's just letting them go to it. And you can see the mouth hanging open there of Akrar as he just looks over out of the ring towards us at ringside. Yozia disentangles himself, and the referee has a quick word with him about just punching around the back of the head there, and Yozia just sliding away to his right hand side. He will know, I'd imagine, that he's got a slight advantage, but it is so slight that both of these two have absolutely got to go out to try and win this final round, and Yozia just backing off a little bit too much maybe in the last few seconds. He can't afford to just try and coast through the rest of this round. Nice right to the body there from Akrar. Yozia comes back with a right uppercut, then looks to dig those toes in, a slight smile on his face. These two have enjoyed this. Big overhand right there though from Akrar, and then avoids the right back from Yozia. And work rate wise, I just think Akrar's beginning to get on top of Yozia a bit here. Yes, he's comfortable off the back foot. Yes, he's comfortable under pressure, but I do think the Italian is just beginning to gas a little bit here, and Akrar is having the better of it in the closing stages for that reason. Remember, with the scoring, those 2 cards of 19-19 are what this is about now. Yozia needs one of them to get through on the split decision. Akrar needs both of them to get through on the split. No point deductions in this round, no case for a 10-8. So that, Ron McIntosh, is what we're looking at.
What an absorbing contest. I thought that was absolutely sensational. For what it's worth, I think the man in blue took the 3rd round. I thought it was a very clever display. You pointed out deep into the 3rd round that he can't afford to coast. It was from about the 50-second mark for about 20 seconds. He went on the back foot and he kept going backwards, but that was almost like a tactic within the course of the round, almost to take Akrar off kilter. I thought it was terrific the way he went forward at times, the way he engaged with him and took on Akrar at his forte of body punching. I preferred the work of the man in blue in that 3rd round. I think he's done enough in what was a terrific seesaw battle to take the title. But what say the judges? It could well be split.
With a split decision, the winner is blue corner.
Well, Yozia gets it. Yozia gets it. And you look at the scores there, he has got the nod with 3 out of the 5 judges, so it's a 3-2 split. The scores came up quite quick there, so he gets it 2-1 with Judge A, 3-0 with Judge B, loses it 2-1 with Judge C, gets it 3-2 with Judge D, and then loses it 3-0 with Judge E. So there's a real mixer, a real spread both sides of the spectrum and absolutely everything in between there, and I can see that. I understand that.
Exactly, because it was that type of contest. The quality incredibly high, and just look at what it means to Francesco Yozio. What a contest. Back and forth, nip and tuck, up for grabs right until the final bell. But it's Yozio who's the champion. But what a rise to prominence for young Mustafa Akrar. Only stepped into a gym in 2017, and here he is in his first tournament. He happens to be a continental event, and he's going home with silver.
That's a great story. It's an absolutely great story. These are the stories you love when you come to competitions like this. You realise just what has gone into this and just how important this is to fighters. I think we're having a word backstage there with the two Italian gold medalists, are we? Marchesi and Chirabi. That's definitely Chirabi on the right hand side. Can be a bit difficult to tell when they get the head guards off who's who. That's one thing that you do really notice the difference since the men have taken the head guards off. They're just as athletes, they're a lot more recognisable. So they've had a good day, Italy, so far, and Yozio claiming another gold medal for them there.
So once we re-enter the main arena of the Pala Maghetti, we will see Angela Carini, the tournament #1 seed, making her way towards the boxing ring. The 2019 World Championship silver medalist at 64 kilograms. And what a year she had in 2019, where she took European Championship silver and European Championship under 22 silver at 69 kilograms. She's already qualified for the Tokyo Olympic Games, has Carini. And she comes to the boxing ring as the tournament #2 seed after a composed unanimous point decision victory over the tournament #4 seed, Melis Yonusova of Bulgaria. So there is part of the Italian delegation. The woman over in the blue corner is Anna Afinogenova. She came through on a unanimous decision over Shannon Torre of France in what was a really rough contest. Both block points in round #2 for their physicality and excessive holding. So hopefully the styles here will blend to give something more pleasing than the Morfest that Afinogenova prevailed in over Shannon Torre of France. Nothing wrong with this woman's commitment, absolutely no doubt about that. Will her style meld with Carini to give us the boxing display we hope to see in this gold medal bout? So final instructions for both boxers. Can see almost identical in terms of height. We just are moments away from the start of action. So we're underway then. The southpaw wearing red is the 2019 World Championship silver medalist. She is Tokyo bound, and that is Angela Carini of Italy. The woman wearing blue is Anna Afinogenova. Afinogenova getting over that front foot and letting both hands go as she walked her way across the ring, crossing her feet, didn't really keep her boxing stance, lands with a good left jab there. Now Afinogenova, one hallmark of her boxing is that backhand, and it's a terrific punch when she finds the range with it. But on occasion, what can happen is that she's so committed to the backhand that if it doesn't land at it as it did cleanly when she threw it just a few moments ago, it ends up going over the shoulder, and such is the full-blooded commitment. Her body collides with that of her opponent, and that's a wonderfully picked southpaw left from Carini. So approaching a minute gone in the opening round, there's a good double left hand to the body from the woman in blue. But Carini, a very cool customer as she scores with a southpaw left. And look at the beguiling tempo at which she boxes. Always appearing to be in range, presenting what seems to be an open chin, but then the wonderful movement to dip beneath the punches. Can even afford a smile, and sportingly helps her opponent back up to her feet after two of them tangled together and took an untimely trip to the canvas. So she's never rushed, and look at that coolness under fire from Carini. Just able to use that GPS and avoid the shots that were being hurled in her direction. Must be a very frustrating boxer to fight against as she scores with a southpaw left once again. And again, she has that idiosyncrasy of almost smiling when she lands the shot. Phlegmatic expression, not giving anything away. But make no mistake, the concentration absolutely locked in on her opponent, as is the case for Athena Geneva. Fainting now, and here's evidence of when she threw that backhand, fell straight into the opponent because it didn't find a range. So it really is an all or nothing shot, because when it lands, it looks sensational. When it doesn't, a tangle usually ensues. Short of the range with it there. Comes forward looking for a left hook against the southpaw. Carini caresses her into a clinch and then gets herself back to the space of center ring. Nice jolting single landed by Athena Geneva, catching Carini as she came in, but look at that for a wonderfully picked southpaw left from Carini. That prompts Athena Geneva to come forward once again. And she ends up looking out over the strands into the half light of the Pala Malghetti. So closing seconds of the opening round here. Athena Geneva looking for that left hand. Nice defensive maneuvers once again from Carini. And just disengages on the sound of the bell to conclude the first round. I thought the boxing of the woman in red, this woman, was enough to take it, but how will the judges see that opening round? How do you see it?
Well, Carini's the better all-round fighter of these two, without any question. I don't think you could argue against that, and the scores come up nice and quick there. I did think it was a Carini round, but Athena Genova, she puts everything into it, and she really commits when she throws that right hand. A bit too much sometimes, as you said, but you know with her basically what you are going to get, and if there is any drop-off in the kind of work rate or concentration of Carini, then Athena Genova is capable of making her pay for that. But really, that's what this is about. If her conditioning holds up here, Carini, and she stays on point, then she's got the skills to win this fight, and she's got a handy lead at the end of round one.
So into the second round then, Judge 3 preferred the work of Athena Geneva after 3 minutes of boxing. Athena Geneva, she too came away with a silver medal in the Global Championships in 2019, and that was a World University Championships, where she claimed the second position on the medal rostrum. But Carini, so relaxed, and you talked about her conditioning, Andy. Well, she is so composed. Anybody who spent any time in the ring knows that if you're not uptight, which a stage like this could present that opportunity for nervous energy to be expelled and a little bit of tightness to creep into the work. But Carini's so relaxed, and at this type of tempo, she just gives you the impression that she's a boxer. She picks off the advancing woman in blue with a southpaw right, that she can operate at this type of tempo for 20 rounds if necessary. Never out of her own tempo, never rushed, never hurried. Terrific southpaw left once again, and like so many great boxers, she appears to have so much time. And again, flashes that gum shield in a grin as if to say, okay. A little bit of roughhouse tactics, but no harm done. Let's get back to the noble art of boxing. So composed. Look at the way she slipped that shot there, got inside the pocket, and was actually behind Athena Geneva when she attempted a couple of right hands, but Athena Geneva caught them on the gloves because she was tucking up tightly. So again, it must be very disconcerting to fight a customer who is this cool, because it's proving impossible to ruffle Carini. Athena Geneva, she has to be careful that her attacks aren't reduced to just, well, crude swings like that. You've got to credit Carini for placing that limitation on her boxing, but she's got to keep her shape, and there she is looking for that crisp right cross once again. Couldn't quite find the range, nor could Carini with her attempted 1-2 out of the southpaw stance. Carini just nudged in a shot to the body after the referee had called stop. She's spoken to about punching incorrectly with the inside of the glove. So approaching 2.5 minutes gone in this second round, and there's the full-blooded right cross once again, and it's so committed that she ends up looking in the wrong direction because of a clever defensive maneuver employed by Carini. So Athena walks onto a right jab, and then as she was disengaging, she was touched by a left hand from the southpaw in red. Carini's composure notable once again. And Athena, well, her work becoming just a little bit more ragged now as she's hit by a southpaw left as she's retreating. Carini feigned to throw the southpaw left but didn't fully commit. Athena trying to work on the inside as the 10-second clapper sounds. Carini just a little bit untidy as she looped in a shot, but 6 minutes in the book, and I think that's another round in favour of the woman in red.
I would agree, and it's an impressive performance because we quite often see this kind of dynamic, don't we, where you've got a fighter who is very committed, a little bit crude maybe, who really comes forward and looks for that right hand, but quite often goes over the top of that front foot and falls in behind it. And when you see that, you can say in commentary, wow, what the opponent needs to do there is they need to have the composure just to take their feet back just that little bit and step up to the side and pick them off on the way in, tempt them in, let them lose that balance and then punish them. Easy thing to say. You see plenty of fighters struggle to actually do it. Carini's done it well. She's done it really, really well. She's caused the Russian to fall short and for the feet to cross and for those mistakes to be made. But it's about that coolness under fire, isn't it? She's got a lot of coolness under fire.
So there are the scorecards, and judges 3 and 5 preferring the work of the woman in blue.
But she's got a 2-point lead with 3 of the cards there.
So there's that solid right cross, and on that occasion it did land from Athena. That's the best shot in her arsenal, and she scored with it within 10 seconds of the third and final round getting underway. Carini with a beautiful southpaw left. Athena just backing up as she shot out the right hand once again, but again missing the target, and so ending up out of position. Well, Carini shrugging her shoulders, and I made the same gesture in the commentary box as if to say, well, what more can she do? But that's irrelevant. Spot of housekeeping, but what it does mean is that having had so many conversations in Carini's direction, a point could well be taken off if those admonishments continue. So Carini has got to make sure she doesn't fall foul of the referee and get a point docked. Because she has a 2-point lead with the majority of the judges. Southpaw left is a crisp punch once again, and the same combination as she stepped back into the pocket. Just cuffed her with the left hand as she was disengaging. There's another full-blooded blow attempted from the right cross of Athena. Solid right jab from Carini. Roundhouse right that time. Came by second-class pose from Athena and was easily evaded. Chopping left hand landed by Athena as she disengaged. Well, Athena just losing her composure momentarily there, tossing her opponent off because she was reckless with the head. Right uppercut wasn't too far away from Carini. Athena, well, this is the type of grappling and mauling that characterized her semi-final. And she's keen to get back into the fray, but again, finding herself out of position and in an illegal position as the same. And this is how the semi-final from Athena was contested. When the first shot didn't land invariably. Oh, that's a terrifically picked southpaw left from Carini. Athena again walking through with the right hand, not finding the range. She's short of the mark once again. Well, there is a gulf in experience between these two boxers, and that experience advantage possessed by the tournament #1 seed Angela Carini has shown itself throughout this contest, and that is why she is on the cusp of being another Italian titleist here at the Under-22 European Championships. She came away with silver in the 2019 event in the Under-22 stage, and here she is now, Angela Carini, about to have her hand raised on home soil because of punch picking like that southpaw left we just saw on the replay.
Absolutely, she won that final round, and she was 2 points clear with 3 of the judges going into that final round anyway, so the victory is secure here for her, and it was just a really good performance. She's very fluid, very relaxed, comfortable being uncomfortable at times, which is absolutely key. Not that she ever really looks particularly uncomfortable. Athena Genova gave it absolutely everything, and she is a handful, and only a really good operator like Carini can make that job look quite as simple as it did, although we do have a split decision.
So shadow boxing in celebration is Angela Carini, the tournament number 1 seed, taking it on a 4-1 split, acknowledging all sides of the arena here at the Pala Maghetti. A terrific performance by her, and she comes away with championship gold on home soil. We'll see her again at the Olympic Games later this summer, but the here and now is all about the European Under-22 Boxing Championships, and it's Angela Carini who will stand on the gold medal rostrum here at her home tournament. A terrific display throughout the course of the championships by Anna Athena Genova, and she comes away with a hard-won silver and the attendant prize money.
And that is a 4th gold medal for Italy. They can't add to that because they don't have any finalists left, but that is a terrific effort. And there's been some very, very good performances there, inspired by being on home turf, I'm sure. The 4 remaining bouts are all men's, and we start with the middleweights. We've got Nikita Voronov of Russia, the number 1 seed, up against Kevin Schumann of Germany. We were talking to a member of the German coaching staff outside, and Schumann has kind of grown in confidence all the way through and will fancy his chances tonight. Voronov, the number 1 seed, has had an interesting ride of it. Got past Ramtin Musa of England 3-2 on a split in the quarter-final. He needed to get judges' decision with 3 scores of 28-28 at the end of the fight to squeeze through there. And then against Moreno Fendero of France, he did win by 4 cards to 0, but a cut opened up after 70 seconds, and that was a couple of days ago, so I think that could possibly be an issue for him. We're just watching him shadow box a little bit as he comes into the ring, just straining to get a look at that eye, and there's been some running repairs. Of course, he has had about 48 hours for that to heal up. All fighters coming into the ring have got a decent sweat on, such are the conditions here. It's a good conditions actually for boxers, sapping under those lights, but very easy to get loose and stay loose. He's actually boxed as a professional, Voronov, 3-0 in the Belgrade tournament in April this year. But Schumann, Kevin Schumann, as I said, he's really grown into this tournament, and he has dispatched a lot of seeds. The Serbian number 3 seed, Almir Memic, in his second fight, Armenia's number 6 seed, Vaktan Harotyunyan, and then the Ukrainian number 2 seed, Bogdan Tolmachov, on a split decision in the semi-final. I felt he deserved to get that one, and he kicked things off with a very tight fight in the opening round against Anton Embulaev, and his fitness levels all the way through have looked very, very good, and he can do a bit of everything. He can keep it a little bit longer, try and box it on the outside, but when he's needed to step in, hold his feet and give it back to his opponent, he's been able to do that. So I'm looking forward to this one. I just wonder whether we might get a big performance from Voronov in his final, because he hasn't really shown us one in the competition up until this point. So calls to the centre of the ring. Voronov of Russia in red, Schumann of Germany in blue. Voronov, the number 1 seed, Schumann unseeded. So here we go. Bell goes at the start of round 1. Voronov immediately just tries to steal himself a jab to the body. He's physically the bigger of the two, you would say, the Russian, as you look at him up there in centre ring. Right to the body there from Schumann, but then a lead left hand just bounces off the German's forehead. That was a nice jab from Voronov, who's got good fundamentals, nice solid basics. Referee just having a quick chat with Voronov there about pushing off with his forearm. Schumann trying to let fly with a left hook a couple of times there, doesn't manage to land it. Mostly they've traded jabs to the body so far. Snaps that jab up from the waist, Schumann. He disguises that jab quite well. Often it looks like it's going to head for the body, then goes up to the waist. Nice left hand there from Voronov. That checked the chin of Schumann. Voronov just led off with a kind of leaping left uppercut. It was a bizarre shot. He missed it by an absolute mile. That's a nice, crisp jab there from Schumann. There's not much to pick between these two. They look pretty well matched. No one's really managed to land a backhand yet. All the scoring has been done pretty much with that lead hand. Right on cue there, a jab just shoved into the face of Schumann from Voronov. Midway through the round, Voronov just trying to back Schumann up. Schumann falling short with the right hand. Voronov unable to make him pay and looking to just try and bump him back into the ropes there. Plenty of leather being thrown by both of those two in that exchange, but as I say, not a great deal got through. They're both showing good defence up close, slipping and rolling, making it difficult for the other to find him. I think that cut might have opened up again above the left eye there of Voronov, just slightly. He's done well, to be honest, to get this far into the fight without it splitting again. And there's some blood from it, and the doctor might have a look at that fairly shortly, and indeed that is going to be the case. When this happened 70 seconds into his semi-final, they had a long look at it, and when he came out after that, you could tell that he was thinking that it might not last too much longer. It's from a clash of heads, but he knew that there was a chance it might go to the cards, and he had to try and make sure that he was ahead if that happened. It's pretty ugly when you see it. We've got a pretty good view of it there as well, actually, from ringside. Well, both fighters there just having a little bit of a look at the referee. Schumann, he'd be well advised just to get on with things there rather than trying to do the referee's job for him. A little bit messy on the inside, arms being trapped by both fighters there. They were at it, the pair of them. Voronov just backing up, looks to try and come in and throw that right hand, just cuts down his own space. He does tend to do that. He looks nicely balanced and set up, Voronov, but then just got caught by a lovely left hand there from Schumann, who landed a good stiff right hand right at the end of the round as well. And who knows, those couple of punches might be enough to nick it, because there wasn't much in that.
Indeed, it was a beautiful check left hand landed at the closing stages, but there's a chopping right hand on a downward trajectory and then a left hook on the inside. So overall, perhaps the better work coming from the man in red, but make no mistake, Schumann in the contest through 3 completed minutes, but that is a significant eye injury that Voronov is trying to protect. And Voronov, well, it's been a physical tournament for him so far, and with a sharp punch picker as we see the scorecards, Voronov taking it 10-9 for all of the judges. But a sharp puncher like Schumann, that's going to present a target that he may well look to land slashing punches on to increase the damage further.
That's exactly what he'll be looking to try and do. So Voronov with that lead, getting that first round with all 5 of the judges. He did the stronger work in the kind of mid portion of that round. Schumann with a good finish there right at the end, but that not enough in the eyes of the judges at ringside to make an impact on the scoring. Voronov throws that jab, looks for the uppercut, well short with the uppercut. Looking for that left hand there, Voronov. Schumann was well able just to drop his knees there and slide underneath it. Decent jab there from the German. I think he needs to really try and just up the tempo a bit here, Schumann. He is quite a languid, fluid fighter. There's plenty of energy there from him. Languid's probably not quite the right word, to be honest. He's got a nice rhythm, and once he gets into that rhythm, I haven't really seen him yet click through the gears particularly. I think he does probably need to do that. I saw Rantim Musa in the 3rd round of his fight with Voronov really get on top of him, to the point where Voronov, for the first minute of the final round there, almost didn't really look like he was that interested. And I think Schumann has got to do something to try and put Voronov under some real serious pressure here, because he's taken that opening round, and the second round is proving to be fairly similar to the first at this kind of stage. Voronov just shrugging Schumann off. And I think when it comes to physical strength, I think the Russian has maybe got the edge here on the German fighter. Just feinting with the front foot there, Voronov. He pulled his weight back really nicely there. The right hand came in from Schumann. We were absolutely side on to that, and he just pulled back and it missed him by a matter of millimetres into the final minute of round 2. Looking for a bit arcing overhand right there, Voronov, and then trying the uppercut on the inside. And then just walk Schumann back to the ropes, just imposing a bit of physicality here. Schumann doesn't like that very much. He wants the referee to get involved, but Voronov just manoeuvring him around and looking for that big uppercut. Got his feet a little bit closer that time. It stood a better chance of landing, but still didn't quite get there. He's managed to protect that cut well in this second round as well, Voronov. And you just get the feeling that this fight is slipping away from Schumann, having dropped that first round. A right hand there from Voronov, who wears a left there from Schumann. Final few seconds of round 2, and this is kind of clever stuff really from the Russian. It's the mark of an experienced man really, isn't it? Because he didn't really do much in that round, but when you look at the overall look and feel of it, he's probably won it.
Yep, I would agree with that. And he spent a lot of time engaging in clinches, pushing the man, tying Schumann up, using his experience, just so that the clock continued to tick and he kept his head out of harm's way. I have to think that Voronov has taken the second round, and you mentioned his experience, and well, you mentioned his contest against Ramtin Musa. He's also got, as we see, a clean sweep across the cards for the second time for Schumann. Had that hard-fought win over Ramtin Musa, got a victory over Lewis Richardson at the Belgrade tournament earlier this year, and he has spent time in the professional ranks but come back to 3 threes since September 2020. So that win over Lewis Richardson, who attempted to get to Tokyo, maybe Ramtin Musa will take confidence from how well he performed against Schumann here in Roseto.
So into the third and final round. Voronov of Russia in red. He's 2 rounds to the good with all 5 of the judges. Kevin Schumann of Germany, who's had a fantastic tournament. This is his 5th fight. He's knocked out 3 seeds along the way, unseeded himself, and he's got to really put his foot to the floor and go for it in this final round, and that's what he's trying to do at the moment. He almost walked straight onto a massive uppercut there from Voronov, who has tailored that one a few times and hasn't quite managed to find the fit for it just yet. 30 seconds into round 3. I'm looking for that jab to the body again there. Right hand on the inside there from Voronov. What he's really good at is just on the borderline of range, pulling his weight back and making his opponent fall fractionally short, and then looking to come back with a counter. He hasn't really caught Schumann too many times flush with those counter punches, but it's a real ability he's got. He's got really nice balance, the weight right in the middle of his feet, and that is what really allows him to just have such control of his head, as he just leans in with it a bit sometimes, other times just pulls it back out of the way. Looking for that uppercut again off the back of the 1-2. German team sitting behind us, just trying to get behind Schumann, who manages to get a couple of punches in there. Voronov was trying to tie up his right glove, and so Schumann responded by working with his left just past the midway point of the round. Committing to a jab there, Schumann. Nice body work there from Voronov. Goes up top with the left hand. Doesn't quite manage to land it. A pro boxing phrase springs to mind here. Schumann has been to an extent old-manned here by Voronov, and what we mean by that is you've got a fighter with more experience than the other, and that's certainly the case with Voronov. They just use that to negate their opponent, to dull that edge that they're looking to try and get with their own attacks, kill the clock a little bit. And just as he is here, just wrestling in the corner, there's nothing really wrong with this. The referee can't come in and take a point off him there, but he just bundles him into the rope, turns him, gets back to the centre of the ring, sets up his own attack. He's not been a blistering display, this, from Nikita Voronov, but 2 points up on all 5 cards going into the final round. He's going to win this fight and pick up a gold medal in the European under-22s, as well as $8,000 in prize money. So it's been a very good few days for him. Schumann, I think, will learn a lot from this kind of fight, because it may well be the sort of encounter he comes away from feeling like he could maybe have done a bit more, but Voronov in reality didn't allow that, and Voronov with a good volley of punches right at the end of the round there. A little bit of damage maybe underneath that right eye, or it could be a touch of transfer of blood, but he's won that fight there, Nikita Voronov, and he's a little bit battle scarred, a little bit battle weary, but he's managed to navigate his way through.
Yeah, he did it very effectively indeed against an incredibly game-committed opponent who never stopped going for the victory. 5th bout of the tournament for Kevin Schumann, nowhere near the level of international experience as his opponent, and he never stopped going for it, but it will be the man in red who's declared the victor.
The winner is red corner, Nikita Voronov.
Clean sweeps, 3 rounds, 10-9 every time with all 5 judges, so 30 points to 27. Schumann was in that fight though. He's got nothing to reproach himself for. As Ron says, that's his 5th fight in 7 or 8 days. He's knocked out 3 seeds, and in the end he's come up short against the #1 seed, so he will grow enormously from the experience he's gathered over the last few days. In the case of Voronov, he had some tight squeezes, had a little bit of luck on the cards in an earlier fight, I would say, but he picked up that bad cut, and he's used that experience and he's kind of dogged it out to get that gold medal. So well done to him. He's just walking down those ringside steps a few yards away from us here, and that is a 6th gold medal in the bag for Russia.
8. Representing the referee from Italy, Mr. Luca Badinotto.
Next up, we've got the men's light heavyweights, another Russian #1 seed in action here too. This will be a good fight, this one.
Ruslan Kolesnikov facing off against his opponent from Armenia. Just awaiting the official introductions to bring Kolesnikov into the boxing ring.
From Russia, Ruslan Kolesnikov.
Well, this young man is a very talented boxer indeed, somebody I've been following for many years now. Commentated on him at the Youth Olympic Games in Buenos Aires when he came away with a silver medal, losing that Youth Olympic Games final to Great Britain's Carol Itama on a 4-1 split. He took 2018 World Youth Gold that same year, and in 2017 and 2018 he took European Gold in the youth classification at 81 kilograms, and the 2018 European Youth Championships, as we've been pointing out, was right here in Roseto. So he's looking for another top spot on a continental medal podium. There is the tournament #1 seed, Ruslan Kolesnikov. He too marked up around the eyes. His opponent is Hambadzum Hakobian. He participated in the European Under-22 Championships, the equivalent event of this back in 2018 at 75 kilograms. Lost to Gabriel Dostin of Ireland, who boxed here in the Under-22s as well. Gabriel Dostin, a very accomplished boxer. Presented him with the Best Boxer trophy at the Haringey Box Cup a few years ago. But these men have been in action in Ring B. And what have you made of the Armenian boxer's route to the final so far?
It's been good to watch Hambadzum Hakobian. He had a great fight against Ben Ehis of Germany in the quarterfinals, won that 4-1. It was right up close. You could have thrown a towel over them at any point. They were working on the inside. It was high quality stuff. I very much enjoyed watching that one. I was looking forward to seeing him box Andrei Kiriakov, the Moldova #6 seed, but he got through there by walkover, and he should present a serious challenge here for Kolesnikov, who dropped his first round against Raphael Moni of France in the quarterfinal, but then showed his experience just to up things, take control, and win that fight on the cards with all 5 judges 2-1. And then a decent battle against Aliaksei Alfiarao, the number 4 seed in the semi-finals. Kolesnikov again just had a little bit too much for him all round. He's all round a good fighter, isn't he?
Well, it certainly is. So we're underway then. 81 kilogram light heavyweight action in the gold medal bout. The boxer on the front foot is the Armenian athlete Hambardzum Hakobyan. His opponent is the tournament number 1 seed Ruslan Kolesnikov, operating on the perimeter of the boxing ring, looking to score with that left hand, in which he possesses wonderful variety. Tucking up tightly, but a right hand got through to the body there from Hakobyan on that front foot. Kolesnikov fully locked in on the activity of his opponent. There's a nice right hand lead, catching Hakobyan, but Hakobyan came back with the same shot. On the inside, both men looking to free their hands. Look at that uppercut picked underneath by Kolesnikov during that exchange at close range. Flicking left jab from the retreating boxer in red. He scored, and look at the education on that left hand as he put it around the rear of the right glove of the man in blue, and then took the direct route with the follow-up right crosses, penetrating the defenses between the gloves of his opponent from Armenia. Terrific shot selection, wonderful variety and evidence during that 10-second burst of activity from Ruslan Kolesnikov. Left jab once again, snaking between the hands of his opponent. Hakobyan looking for his own left jab, picked off by a single shot as he went in search of a right hand. Oh, what a left hook! Disguised it behind a left jab, pulled the trigger and just caught Hakobyan right on the point of his chin. Terrific variety once again from the tournament number 1 seed. And then a check right hand, just walking him through like a matador to a bull. Just pushed him through with the right hand and stepped through on the other side, leaving Hakobyan staring over the strands here at the Pala Magheti. Make no mistake, Hakobyan knows what he's doing, but the flashes of ring craft from Kolesnikov and accurate punch picking have been notable indeed. Good left hand to the body. It was preceded by a left jab upstairs. Hakobyan will have felt that, and he came straight back looking for his own response. But it's a very good display this of efficient punch picking from Kolesnikov. Hakobyan goes in search of a right hand. Both men off the mark with their attempted shots during that trade-off. Right uppercut was attempted by Kolesnikov, who was inconvenienced by being pushed onto one leg. Good left hook to the body, sunk beneath the right elbow once again from Kolesnikov. 10-second clapper has sounded. Both men looking to land just before the bell. A very good round of boxing from Ruslan Kolesnikov. Some wonderful work produced during that 3-minute frame.
He's saving the best for last here, because that's the best round of boxing I've seen him produce in the tournament so far. I've seen 6 previous rounds from him. At times, as in that first round I mentioned against Rafael Moni, he was maybe a little bit overconfident. Was throwing flashy combinations right from the start. Here he just gave himself a little bit of the time to work into it. Hakobyan came out quick. He almost sort of let him. Just rode with it for a bit to have a look. And since then he's just shown stunning variety. And every single time Hakobyan has provided any kind of opening, and even when he hasn't, he's been punished.
So 10-9 across the board in favour of Ruslan Kolesnikov. Hakobyan and his corner have got to adapt their strategy, and Hakobyan has got to implement it. Well, just trying to look at the reason for the delay here, the start of round 2. Nothing immediately discernible. Time has been called and we are underway. Right back onto the front foot is the man who conceded this opening round unanimously, and credit to him because he's trying to quicken the tempo here and make Kolesnikov uncomfortable, because Kolesnikov was incredibly relaxed during the course of that opening round, able to work at his own tempo, create openings as he wanted with some wonderfully disguised offenses. And look at the response it's eliciting from Hakobyan, but there's plenty of aggression. He did get through with the right hand there as Kolesnikov was pinned in the blue corner. But look at that left jab, just keeping the man in blue at bay, just sneaking it through the defenses of Hacobyan to find a home for it. Hacobyan, short with his attempted jab, kept his forward march going, and now looking to work against Kolesnikov, but Kolesnikov scored with a good left hand off the ropes and then spun back to ring center. 2 shots upstairs and a left hand to the body once again. Hacobyan responds with that same shot, left hand beneath the right elbow of his opponent. But Kolesnikov looking entirely unruffled here. There's a trace of red on his forehead, and that's because he's got a cut around the left eye. So the referee will be keeping a close eye on that. If the referee calls time for the cut to be inspected, we're going to have to see what caused the cut, whether it was a clash of heads or a punch. Midway through the second round, Hacobyan, spoken to about reckless use of the head. Terrific double left hook on the resumption. Head then body from the man in red. He tries for a right uppercut, does Kolesnikov. And Hacobyan trying to rough his opponent up here. Steps right back into the pocket and scored with 2 body shots, does Hacobyan. Now it's back to long range. Left jab again around the side of the right glove from Kolesnikov. Tried a right hand off the ropes. Hacobyan kept the attack going and was looking to work away downstairs. Beautiful left jab once again. Unerringly accurate from the man in red. Drops the jab down to the body, scored with the right hand over the top. Hacobyan comes back with a burst of activity just above the belt line of his opponent. And again, Kolesnikov just giving the impression of a man who is doing things on his own terms and at his own tempo here, despite the best efforts of Hacobyan, who continues to come forwards. But he simply cannot make the man uncomfortable for long enough. There was a good 2-shot combination landed by Kolesnikov during the course of that trade-off, and then Kolesnikov having the final word after Hacobyan enjoyed success as well. Good left hand landed to the body a few moments ago by Kolesnikov. Just protects himself with his elbow. Left hook upstairs was a solid shot from the man in blue. So closing seconds of this second round, Hacobyan have to give the man credit because he really did try to do something different by upping the tempo, trying to ruffle Ruslan Kolesnikov, but for my money, he didn't succeed in doing it, and I think that's another round in favor of the man in red, who's picked up a nasty gash on his left eye.
Agreed. I've got all the time in the world for Hacobyan and the way he's going about this, because, like you say, he bit down in that second round and he really tried to just raise it. He's not getting discouraged. He's been hit with plenty of good punches. He keeps coming forward. He's trying to keep his defences tight. It's not gung-ho or reckless. And he did have some pockets of success there, but Kolesnikov dominated the round. As you say, that is a pretty nasty-looking cut he's got on the corner of his left eye there. They don't want that to get too much worse. The scores come up, so it's 4 cards for Kolesnikov, 1 in favour of Hacobyan, so 4 judges have got Kolesnikov with a 2-point lead. The middle judge there, the Finnish judge, has got it level 19-19. So unless some points get deducted from Kolesnikov in this round, then he's clear here.
So into the third round then. The man in blue has got to overturn a 2-point deficit for 4 of the 5 scoring judges here. Good right hand landed on a downward trajectory by Kolesnikov, who was incredibly composed on the ropes. Hacobyan firing away, but not really able to find the range because Kolesnikov was just swaying on the strands and making his opponent miss. So Hacobyan continues to edge his way forwards, trying to quicken his feet and cut off the ring. Kolesnikov spins back to the space of center ring, and Hacobyan still looking for bent-arm punches to both body and head. Uppercut attempted by Kolesnikov was short of the mark, so he pushed his man off with the shoulder, and again there's evidence of the accuracy. Left, right, straight between the gloves of the man in blue to result in a scoring combination. Stealing a glance to his corner is Kolesnikov. He'll know that we're approaching the midpoint of this final round. Good right hands exchanged. Hacobyan landed first, then Kolesnikov, who retreats to the ropes voluntarily, scores off them before spinning off them, and again just cracking out that left jab like a riding crop and disrupting the advancing man in blue by flicking him in the face with that left hand lead. It's a very good display, this. And Hakobian continuing to pursue his man as he looks to fulfill his mission. But there's evidence of the accuracy once again during that 3-shot combination. The first 2 punches went between the gloves of the man in blue. Then when Hakobian was looking to let his hands go, it was an open chin, and he was tagged by Kolesnikov once again. And that's good to see from Hakobian. He kept the attack going when he got Kolesnikov to the ropes. There he lands with the forearm, twice with the left hand. Good double left hook, make it a triple left hand, because he went hook to the head, hook to the body, and then another left hand upstairs again, all from the same flank. Hakobian, well, again, you have to credit this man's conditioning and commitment, because he keeps on coming. He's continuing to swing away. But again, there's evidence of the direct route taken by the straight shots of the tournament #1 seed. Getting in between the defenses erected by his opponent. And Hakobian keen to get back into the fray. Well, we're inside the closing seconds of this gold medal bout, and Hakobian, well, he has never stopped trying to get the shot or the combination off that would take his man out of there. But Ruslan Kolesnikov with a very composed display indeed, boxing brilliantly over the course of that championship bout, and he's going to be crowned as the champion.
He is. I think that was probably Hakobian's best round of the fight. I still don't think he did enough to win it necessarily, but he kept that work rate really, really high. Kept on top of Kolesnikov, who began to gas a bit, to be honest, towards the end there. He was looking a little bit tired. He had to look after that cut, of course. I was just looking back at my notes, and he did pick that up in the 3rd round of his semi-final, but he did protect it well, and he's going to get the win here.
So Ruslan Kolesnikov prevailing on a unanimous points decision verdict. Maximum credit has to go to Hambod's Hakobian, because he took the final round. Testament to his competitive spirit and his work rate. But it is Ruslan Kolesnikov, the tournament #1 seed, who makes it another championship gold for Russia here at the Pala Maghetti in Roseto.
Good performance, very good performance. And he saved the best for last there, as I said, because I was impressed with him when I saw him in the semi-final against Aliaksai Alfiarao. He was a little bit lackadaisical in his opening round against Raphael Moni of France, slightly overconfident maybe, but you can tell that he's just he's a class fighter. And from light heavyweight, we're going to the heavyweight division, and I'm looking forward to seeing this one as well. Another Russian in the final here, Vladimir Uzunyan, the #2 seed, and he's up against Artyom Yordanyan of Georgia, who had a very eventful semi-final a couple of days ago against Irish #5 seed Jack Marley, putting him down hard in the 1st round. Hit him high on the head with a right hand, followed up with a left, dumped Marley down, but the Irishman responded well, and they went at it for the rest of the fight. Yordanyan knows only one way. He will come forward, he will look to get close, and he will throw. Not particularly big for a heavyweight, but he's still a muscular kind of fighter. Beat Roberto Lizzi of Italy earlier in the tournament, and then turned in a fantastic performance by all accounts against Wilfried Florentin of France, the #1 seed, to dump him out in the quarter-finals. You saw that fight, and you marked my card about Yordanyan when I realised I was going to get him in the semi-finals. You said, look out for him, you'll enjoy watching him.
He is a rough customer. Without wishing to be unkind in any way, he's got a build reminiscent of iconic heavyweight 2-ton Tony Galento, and he boxes in a similar way to roundhouse blows, always on the front foot, looking to unload. Very aggressive individual, but it's effective aggression, it's educated pressure, and he brings it. Does Artyom Yordanyan, 2016 World Youth Championship participant in St. Petersburg. I was at that tournament at 81 kilograms. Just before that, he was a European junior champion in the 80 kilogram plus division. Here he is up at 91 kilograms, and as Andy's pointed out, this man is a handful.
Well, here comes Vladimir Uzunyan, the Russian #2 seed. He was at that World Youth as well in 2016, where he won a silver medal, and he's had an interesting tournament so far. his quarter-final against Yevgeny Pavlovsky of Ukraine. That was a close fight. That could have gone the other way. He got it on the cards. Then in his semi-final, he was up against Mateusz Bereznicki. An interesting fight to Bereznicki. Boxes out of a club near Portsmouth in England, but pulls on the vest of Poland. And I was impressed with Bereznicki when I saw him. And it was a close fight, but then the Pole lost his head, put the head in the final round, and had a point taken for that, which really did seal things. Ozunyan is a well-organised type of a fighter. He's got a considerable, I would say, size advantage on Yordanyan here, who you would say is not really a full-blown heavyweight. Could he make light heavy with some hard training? I don't know. There's a big gap between 81 and 91. It's basically a stone and a half just over in old money, if that's what you operate in. But he's great to watch. He is great to watch. He will bring this right from the start, and he will bring it to the max. What was interesting about this fight against Marley was that having won the first round with that knockdown and won it 10-8 with most of the judges, and he won the second too, although Marley put up a good performance. In the third round, he could have coasted, but he can't. He just can't do it. And he just continued to throw the kitchen sink at him all the way through. So I think we know what we're going to get here from the Georgian wearing red. The Russian number 2 seed, Ozunyan, in blue, is a more of an orthodox type of character. He's got the height, and he will look to try and stick out that jab and catch Yordanyan on the way in. A neat bit of body work there from Ozunyan as well. And that jab will be key. If he can keep using that jab, doesn't necessarily need to land absolutely clean, even if it lands on gloves, on shoulders, so long as it lands heavy enough, it just causes your opponent to reset and start again. And here he comes, Yordanyan, just trying to steam onto the inside there. Ozunyan hit him with a nice body shot before that, but that was a decent looking uppercut there from Yordanyan. A minute into round 1. The Russian has dealt fairly well with things so far, and the referee having a word with Yordanyan there. Yordanyan had owned up to that one before the ref had even spoken, just hitting with the inside of the glove. It's a knuckle part of the glove that you've got to land if you want to execute a scoring punch. Yordanyan, if anything, just a little bit too close there. Ozunyan looking for that jab again. That was a decent shot. Moving around the outside of the ring here and doing a decent job of it. Every now and again just steps in and meets Yordanyan exactly as he does there, just sets his feet and looks to really kind of tee off on him as he comes in. He's not just going to flick that jab and get on his bike. That's not how you do this. Big flailing right hand there from Yordanyan, missed by quite some distance into the final minute of the round. And Yordanyan yet to have any real notable success. That won't discourage him. But Ozunyan has dealt well with this up until this point. As I said, he's mixed it up. Sometimes he's looked to get that jab into effect, other times he's allowed Yordanyan to come into him and then held his feet like he did there and banged in a jab to the body. Yordanyan got through with the right hand that time and then made to look a little bit clumsy. Pirouetted and stumbled away to his right a touch. But there again, Ozunyan just choosing to stand his ground. Looks for the uppercut. Didn't get through absolutely clean, but picked a couple of nice punches there. Yordanyan chasing him around the ring a bit, struggling to cut the ring off on Ozunyan. And we got what we knew we would get from the Georgian, and the Russian dealt with it pretty well, I thought.
Thought he dealt with it excellently. I thought that was a very good display over the course of the 3 minutes from Ozunyan. Brought the uppercut into play early on, and look at that for a stiff jab. Stepping off, not running in any way, shape or form, but using the space of the ring, creating angles. And on a couple of occasions, the uppercut that he uncoiled was solid indeed. One of them practically lifted this man off his feet because the impact was doubled up as he was coming forwards. Plenty of encouragement for both boxers from the support teams and teammates here in the stands, but I don't think there's any doubt that this man took the round, and I think he took it very accomplished fashion indeed. Terrific use of his legs, and providing his conditioning can hold up, well, this could well be a very difficult task for Jordanyan if that first 3 minutes is anything to go by. He'll have other ideas, of course.
Well, he swept it on the scorecards there. It was an easy round to score, and what was good about it was the way that he mixed it up. He knows that Jordanyan is going to come to him, but he knows that he can't just give ground. This is heavyweight boxing. Some of the time he did what he's doing here, which is skirting around the edge of the ring, feeling those ropes on his back, flicking out the jab, using that effectively. And then when he felt he needed to, he would step in, dig his toes in, get some good leverage on punches up close in that kind of mid-range. Jordanyan has just got to try and keep his head on the move. That's a trip from Ozunyan as he was sliding off to his left. He's got to keep the faith here, Jordanyan, that he's going to get to his man. He's well used to how these 3-round contests can go. In the majority of them, at a good level anyway, he may well find himself dropping the first round, but he'll hopefully have taken something out of his opponent's tank dropping that first round, start to get to them in the second, and maybe give himself a chance of turning it around. The referee looking at the inside of the glove there of Jordanyan again, feeling that he was using that a little bit too much. Ozunyan just pawing with that jab, just trying to keep him occupied, then chops down with a hook, just hooking off that jab. Short with the right hand there, Jordanyan. And as I said before, he's just tending to chase Ozunyan a bit rather than cut the ring off on him. He turned southpaw there briefly, the Russian fighter, showing good technique to land a 1-2 out of that left-handed stance. Kind of right-hand lead there, and then just rakes in a screw shot, uppercut almost. Ozunyan, Jordanyan got through with a left, but his successes have been fairly few and far between, really. Despite all the pressure that he's tried to put Ozunyan under, he's given him maximum effort here. He certainly can't be faulted for that, but he's in with an opponent here who was well schooled. Just takes his weight back there. Good defence. He was backed into the corner, avoided a left hook by just a barely perceptible dip of the knees, which saw that one miss him, and then he just pulled his weight back and avoided another one. Good right hand there though from Jordanyan towards the end of the round. Final 30 seconds. Ozunyan, I think, might feel he just needs to just do a little bit of work in the final 20 seconds or so. I think he's done the crisper, cleaner punching in this round again. It's not too different from the first. Bit of spit flying out of the mouth there of Ozunyan as he got caught with a left hand, and I think this is a better round for Jordanyan, who's persevered and is beginning to get to Ozunyan at times as the sand just runs out of the timer at the end of round 2. Better round for Jordanyan, but probably not quite good enough.
I would agree with that characterization entirely. Credit to him for his persistence, kept on coming, and he did have more success than he enjoyed in the first round. Started to target the body of the man in blue, but the reason he didn't have as much success because of moves like that. Uppercut, then stepping through, and he used the uppercut again terrifically to catch the advancing man in red. Straightened out his left jab repeatedly. Very good round of boxing indeed for the man in blue, and I think the Russian boxer, well, wow, they've given that on a 4-1 split to the man in red, and I find that rather extraordinary. So quite simply, because of that scoring, it's all square for 4 of the 5 judges. Judge 4 has the Russian boxer 2 points up, but I did not see that over the course of that 3 minutes.
No, nor did I. I'm with the Belarusian judge there, who's got it 2 rounds to 0 in favour of Ozunyan. So 4 scores of 19 apiece. Jordanyan needs to convert 3 of them. Ozunyan needs to convert 2, and they'll have told him in the corner. And I did say with 30 seconds to go, he maybe needed to just put in a little bit of work. He might feel that he needed to do that just to make absolutely sure in that round. I wasn't really in any doubt myself, but I think he's got to up the tempo, up the work rate here, Ozunyan. We know that Jordanyan will just keep coming forward and keep coming forward and keep coming forward, and Ozunyan has got to do more maybe of what he did in the first round, which is hold his feet and look to really hit him hard, because he didn't do as much of that in the second round as he did in the first. Because this is right up in the balance here. very much so. Jordanyan just leaning in, looking to try and let go with that right hand. Zunyan with a left to the body there, looking for the right uppercut. Then the jab. Jordanyan coming forward, Zunyan again with the jab. And the Russian just moving off to his right. Leads off with a left hook. That's 4 or 5 good single shots that he's thrown there as Zunyan makes Jordanyan miss with the left hand. Jordanyan finds a touch of space and gets through with his right on the inside. But that pocket of boxing there for me is the difference between the two. Jordanyan's coming forward all the time, we can see that. But Zunyan off the back foot landed 3, 4 good, decent shots to Jordanyan's 1. From where I'm sitting, that's how this has gone. But I think the judges at ringside in that second round must have favoured Jordanyan coming forward and having a better round than the first round. So heading up towards the final minute. Right to the body there was a good shot from Zunyan. Another right hand and then just moves off to his right, looking to try and double up on that jab. Aims the uppercut. Jordanyan trying to track him down. Launches into a left hand, which I think landed not all that clean. He looks for a left hand on the inside and he doesn't want to get trapped there. Zunyan finds an exit away to his right. Cuffs Jordanyan with a left. Tired looking right hand there from the Georgian fighter, who, like he always does, has put every single ounce into this one. Left hand there from Zunyan again as he moves off. Nice little short right hand, and he's picked these singles well and kept it at distance, which has been the right thing to do, I think, because it just hasn't allowed Jordanyan to get on top of him. But he's put some spike into those punches and just knocked his man onto his back foot. A nice combination there from Zunyan. Jordanyan barrels him back towards the corner, but doesn't really make any serious contact. And Zunyan has had the confidence here in this final round just to stick to his boxing and really keep doing what he's been doing for the previous 2 rounds. From where I'm sitting, he outlanded Jordanyan about 3 or 4 to 1 in that round, and it should be enough to get it for him.
Yep, I agree with that, Andy. But given how the second round was scored, and I don't want to get into making allowance for how things were scored, but as we've pointed out, as I've pointed out during the course of the day, during the course of the tournament, if you're a back foot boxer, sometimes you've got to hold your feet and just show the judges that you can back the other guy up and you're not running. Zunyan was doing anything but running. All his success, though, was exclusively on the back foot. I think he's done enough to win it, and he should be declared the victor here. I thought that was a very good display indeed. Credit to Jordanyan, who never stopped coming. Here's the verdict.
With a split decision, the winner is blue corner.
Well, Zunyan gets it in the blue corner. He was up with the Belarusian judge, who gave the third round to Jordanyan in the end. The others were all 19-19, and he got enough of them. So he got 3 out of those 4 19-19s to turn it into a 4-1 scorecard in his favour. So the right man has got that there. It was closer than we had it on the scorecards, but the right man has got the verdict down. I think that was his best performance of the tournament. I think that's the best I saw in box in the course of the 3 fights that I watched of his. 1 to go, the super heavyweights.
So the volunteers just wiping down the ropes on the perimeter of the boxing ring in preparation for our final bout of Roseto 2021. That is in the super heavyweight division, and it features boxers from Georgia and Ukraine.
Presenting the referee from Hungary, Mr. Sandor Babai. Judge 1, Slovakia. Judge 2, Kosovo. Judge 3, Italy. Judge 4, Israel. Judge 5, Moldova. Category 91 kilos plus.
So we've had a mixture of men and women's boxing through the 2 sessions, but as is so often the tradition in Olympic-style boxing. It is the super heavyweights who will close the show, and making his way towards the boxing ring is the tournament #1 seed, Nicolas Bogazzi of Georgia, 22 years of age. In the 2019 edition of this championships, he came away with a bronze at 91 kilograms. Here he is up at super heavyweight. He's gone better than he did 2 years ago. Participated in the World Championships at 2019 at 91 kilograms, losing to Erislandi Savon at the preliminary round stage. Was a quarter-finalist in the European Games in Minsk in 2019. Third bout of the tournament here today for Nicolas Bogazzi. His opponent is in his fourth contest, and that is Dmytro Lovchinsky from Ukraine, a terrific body puncher. Had an incident-filled win at the quarter-final stage over the tournament #3 seed Turpal Ali Huteyev when he won on disqualification. His opponent tossed out for holding, so he beat the tournament #3 seed at the quarterfinals. He beat the tournament #2 seed Levente Kiss at the semi-final stage. And this man is a terrific body puncher. So having eliminated seeds #3 and #2, he's facing this man, the tournament #1 seed, as he looks to continue to eliminate the seeded boxers in his quest to make it to the top of the medal podium. So bout number 265 here at Roseto 2021 is our final bout of the tournament. It's the men's super heavyweight gold medal bout, and the man wearing red is the tournament #1 seed Nicolas Bogazzi, who has used that height and range and reach to score with a terrific combination early in this round. His more compact opponent, wearing blue, is the Ukrainian boxer Dmytro Lovchinsky, who has demonstrated terrific body punching throughout the course of this tournament, not only with bent arms, as Bogazzi wasn't too far away with his southpaw left, but with shots like that. The straight right hand attempted to the body, he's got a terrific jab to the body as well, and he uses it repeatedly just to slow down the movements of his opponent. He applies educated pressure, does Lovchinsky. He doesn't walk you down in the manner of the heavyweight Artyom Yordanyan we've just seen from Georgia. He just edges forwards with incremental steps, but he's always on top of the opponent. And invariably, he pulls the trigger on those straight shots to the body or looping shots such as that. But against Nicolas Bogazzi, who's a towering super heavyweight, close to 2 meters tall, about 198 centimeters, it's a considerable distance that he has to close to get inside that reach. And you see Bogazzi just long bridging his man there as he scores with a single. Cheeky double left hand fired from behind by Lovchinsky. I'm sure that the Ukrainian contingent will have watched the contest of Lovchinsky, of Bogazzi, who goes for a right left but was off the range. He's managed the rounds well, but he has faded noticeably deep into contests. Never been in danger of losing a contest en route to the gold medal bout. Produced a terrific display against Ayoub Gadaf Adrisi, the tournament #5 seed of Spain, to win on a unanimous point decision. Adrisi really went for him in the third and final round, as there we see an example of the body punching ending with a left hook to the head. But Bogazzi, who had a long wait to get his tournament underway, had to wait till around day 6, if memory serves. And it was just as though he timed it perfectly, would be an optimist's way of saying it. There's a solid right hand from Bogazzi after he took a right hand to the body. So will Lovchinsky be able to apply the pressure in a steady yet increasing fashion? What a left uppercut, right hook. But my goodness, Lovchinsky must have some chin, because he comes back and hauls in punches to the body of his opponent, demonstrating his hallmark of what he does best. But that was a terrific two-shot salvo from the tournament #1 seed. But what a response it elicited from Lovchinsky.
It's an interesting fight because, as you outlined, Lovchinski does keep coming forward, but he does it in a clever way. He gets onto the inside, onto the borderline of range where he can get something done almost before you realise he's there. I thought the better, cleaner punching in that round came from Baghdadi myself, but not by a great deal. The better headshots came from him, the bodywork came from Lovchinski, and that's the way round that really was. So it's split scoring with the judges there. A couple have gone Baghdadi, which is the way that I would have gone. The other three have gone to Lovchinski. And that's entirely appropriate because that was a close round and there wasn't an awful lot in it at all.
So with the live scoring that you're seeing here, the coaches will be in possession of that information. What will they have shared with their respective boxers? We go into the second round. Super heavyweight gold medal bout, and right back over that front foot once again is Lovchinski, just bobbing and weaving as he tucks up behind a high held guard now. Nice movement off the ropes from Baghdadi, who's continuing to use that lead southpaw right jab as a rangefinder. But did you see beneath it the left jab scoring to the body from Lovchinski, and then he brings a right hand to the torso into play as well. Just continues to creep his way across the canvas of the boxing ring. Now Baghdadi looking to hold his feet and try to back his man up with a stiff right jab. Tries the left cross, but it bounced off the gloves of Lovchinski. And Lovchinski on the inside, just nudging those shots away to the body, trying to drain his taller opponent. So again, corkscrew right hand from Baghdadi as Lovchinski was trying to disengage. Oh, that's a solid left cross through the guard of the man in blue. Backed him up momentarily. He's aware of that, and so he bites down and steps right back into the breach once more. He lands a forearm to the body. My goodness, that was like something from MMA. Tried a right hook, followed through with a forearm and elbow right into the ribcage of his opponent. Was on the blind side of the referee, and so it will have certainly made an impact. Looking for that long, strong left cross once again is Baghdadi. Lovchinski looks for the uppercut. Couldn't find it from the right hand, but did get through with the left hand while Baghdadi was attempting to tie him up. Nice head movement from Baghdadi. Lovchinski trying to quicken his feet. Lands a left hand to the body once again. That landing around the serratus muscle of the man in red, just beneath the armpit. Baghdadi long bridging with that right hand once again, looking for that looping roundhouse left. Baghdadi breathing through an open mouth now. Big intake of air from Lovchinski, who walks in and sinks a hard right hand into his opponent's solar plexus. And I mentioned the fact that Baghdadi, as the heads come together between the southpaw and orthodox boxer, that he has demonstrated a tendency to fade. He's just beginning to slow down a little bit here deep into the second round. Lovchinski trying to free his hands and work away. Both men putting an awful lot into this super heavyweight gold medal bout. Sparring with the lead hands are the two boxers. Accuracy decreasing in the closing stages of this second stanza. Oh, good left hand landed by Lovchinski. And look at that, they're both good. They're going for a walk through the park as they strolled across the ring together, side by side. Closing seconds of this second round. Good right hand landed by Lovchinski as the final scoring shot of that 3-minute frame. Another very competitive round, but I happen to think the man in blue was just a little bit crisper, as Baghdadi perhaps is just beginning to fade a little bit.
I think he absolutely is beginning to fade. I would go Lovchinski in that round. I think he had a good finish to it as well. Up until that point, it was maybe pretty much in the balance, but the last 30 seconds, I thought Lovchinski took it away from him. Baghdadi, towards the end of that round, is not far off being dead on his feet, to be honest with you. I did think in that second round, what I wanted to see him do more was take the centre of the ring, hold his feet, and really give it to Lovchinski rather than back up quite so much. And the judges there, 4 have gone for Lovchinski, 1 have gone for Baghdadi. So we've got 3 scores of 20 points to 18 for the Ukraine, 1 of 20 to 18 for Georgia, and 1 19-19. So Lovchinski's just got to hold on to those 3 20-18s, and he's got the gold medal here. It's difficult to see him not doing that.
So into the third and final round then, the man wearing blue, the more compact figure, Dmytro Lovchinsky is leading 20 points to 18 for 3 of the 5 scoring judges. Oh, that's a beautiful counter right hand from Lovchinsky. Bagadzhi going in search of the finishing shot that he needs to overturn the context of this contest. He was made to miss, and then boy did Lovchinsky make him pay, picking that counter wonderfully. So Bagadzhi needs to overturn a 2-point deficit of 20 points to 18 for 3 of the 5 scoring judges sat ringside. We are, of course, in the super heavyweight division, so it is not in the realms of the impossible or indeed the improbable that these guys can land that single shot to turn things around in the blink of an eye. But of course, Lovchinsky will be switched on to that possibility and will be looking at all costs to avoid that eventuality. It's physical on the inside. Bagadzhi, can he summon up the single shot? Because I don't think it's going to be with a cluster of punches, because I don't think he's got the energy left in his reserves to put a combination together that will get his man out of there. And the more deeply we progress into this third and final round, the more Bagadzhi is entering the realm of the lottery and needing one single finishing shot to take his man out of there and render the judges irrelevant. Good right hand to the body landed by Lovchinsky once again. Bagadzhi looking to line his man up, but the shot telegraphed and Lovchinsky able to avoid it rather comfortably. Beyond the midpoint of the third and final round, forearm connected from Lovchinsky around the back of Bagadzhi's head. Both boxers feeling the pace, but the man looking worse for wear is the tournament #1 seed wearing red. He is desperately fatigued up there in the boxing ring. He knows what he needs to do. Stealing a glance to his corner. But again, in this division in particular, it is crucial for Lovchinsky to remain switched on. Bagadzhi, there's the left hand right on cue just as he needed it. But my goodness, didn't Lovchinsky absorb it well? He has got some chin, because Bagadzhi uncoiled a left cross, twisted his back foot into the canvas and got terrific leverage on that shot, and Lovchinsky barely blinked. But that is the danger that is inherent in the super heavyweight division, as Bagadzhi keeps that left hand locked and loaded and ready to launch once again. Closing seconds of the third and final round, and Bagadzhi certainly made it interesting, landing that thunderous power driving southpaw left cross. Tumbled to the canvas in the closing stages, but I think there can be little doubt that Dmytro Lovchinsky will have his hand raised as the victor here. Credit to Nicolas Bagadzhi, because he did find something in that third and final round, but not enough to turn the tide in his favor.
Absolutely, absolutely. He really dug in there, Bagadzhi, because, as I said, towards the end of the second round there, he looked like he was in big trouble, and you did say that he had a bit of a history of gassing a bit towards the end of fights, so you can't fault his desire there. He gave it everything he got in that third round, but Lovchinsky was 2 rounds clear with 3 of the judges going into that final round, so there's no way that he's surrendered that advantage with any of those 3, so he's going to get this.
Well, what a wonderful moment for Dmytro Lovchinsky. He prevails on a 3-2 split over the tournament #1 seed. And what a run to the top of the medal rostrum it has been for the man from Ukraine. At the quarterfinal stage, he eliminated the tournament #3 seed. At the semi-final stage, he beat the tournament #2 seed. And then in the gold medal bout, he topples the tournament #1 seed to come away as the European under-22 champion. Seed-slaying exploits all the way through to the gold medal bout. It's a fantastic series of performances for Dmytro Lovchinsky. He comes away with championship gold. It's a brilliant silver for Nicolas Bagadzhi, but this moment and the spoils belong to the man from Ukraine. As we see one of the best to ever do it, Roberto Camarelli, and indeed Francesco Damiani, former WBA heavyweight champion of the world, giving their analysis for Italian television here at the Palamaghetti. But that concludes the action from the 26th session of boxing. And Andy, your closing impressions over the course of the championships we've had here in Roseto.
It's been great fun. It's been fantastic fun to come over and cover this tournament. Always thoroughly enjoy it. The standard of boxing has been good, and you're seeing a new generation here of fighters who will want to burst through and claim that #1 slot in many cases for their national federation when we get the other side of the Tokyo Olympics. And that was a big win for Ukraine, that final one there, because they'd had a bad day up until that point. 6 finalists, and up until then hadn't won one, so they managed to get one over the line finally. The big winners today: Russia, 8 gold medals from 10 finalists. Italy, though, great performance from them, 4 gold medals from their 5 finalists. France picked up a couple, and then alongside Ukraine with 1 gold, it was England, Germany, Ireland, Poland and Armenia. So a good spread, a lot of representation from different countries winning those gold medals, which is always good to see. I'm going to miss the weather here, I can definitely say that, as we head back to England tomorrow. But it's been a very, very good tournament. It's a very worthwhile competition, the under-22s. Just that kind of bridge, isn't it, between youth and elite level seniors. You get that international experience in a full-blown international competition, living around the other athletes for an extended period of time, all that kind of thing. It's been fantastic.
It most certainly has. And Roseto, as they have been for so many AIBA and EUBC tournaments, have been terrific hosts. It's been a fantastic festival of boxing for the best young athletes from 41 nations across Europe, 285 boxers, 193 men, 92 women across the 20 weight categories made their way to Roseto. And what a day of gold medal bouts we have witnessed. It's been absolutely sensational to serve as your commentators. So as we leave you with images from some of the action that has taken place on this day of gold medal bouts, on behalf of Andy Clark and the rest of the team here, it just remains for me, Ronald McIntosh, saying thank you for staying with us. Stay across AIBA's social channels for all the latest news, updates and information about what's going on in the realm of 3-3-minute round Olympic style boxing, and of course the EUBC as well. But again, thank you for staying with us, and we'll see you again very soon for more boxing from AIBA and the EUBC. Bye for now. Well played, man.
I mean, overall, I mean, the judging was better in that second half. But I do think the impression you just have to understand. I think controversy was in the back, but that's it.
Finland for the award ceremony. Finland, stage. Bazeyan from Armenia to the stage. Bazeyan from Armenia. Please Armenia, Bazeyan. Karini to the stage. Brak Pavel from Poland to the stage for the award ceremony. Please, Poland. Alexei Kiselev from Russia to the stage from the award ceremony, please.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, we start the award ceremony for the EUBC U22 European Boxing Championships in the weight category of 54 kilograms. The medal ceremonies are presented by Umar Krimlov, International Boxing Association President, and Francesco Damiani, Olympic champion. The bronze medal goes to Kunia Anna, representing Georgia. And the second bronze medal goes to Budmir Bekan and Julia, representing Germany. The silver medalist in weight category is Giulia Lamagna, representing Italy. And finally, the gold medalist and the champion of the EUBC U22 European Boxing Championships is Julian Caroline. Representing France. And we'll keep on fighting. Dear ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of France. Ladies and gentlemen, give your warmest applause to the winners and medalists of the EUBC Under-22 European Boxing Championships.
Pavel.
And we proceed with the medal ceremony of the European Boxing Championships Under-22 for the weight category of 54 kilograms. The medal ceremonies are presented by Marco Angelini, Assessor of Rosetto dell'Abruzzo, and Franco Falcinelli, EUBC President. AIBA prize money certificate is delivered by Istvan Kovac, AIBA General Secretary. The bronze medalist in weight category of 54 kilograms becomes Devetkina Valeria, representing Russia. And the second bronze medalist, Kovalchuk Anastasia, representing Ukraine. The silver medalist in this weight category becomes Vitanen Vilma, representing Finland. And finally, gold medalist and the champion of EUBC Under-22 European Boxing Championship becomes Karabi Sirin, representing Italy.
We are the champions, my friends, and we'll keep on fighting till the end. We are the champions, we are the champions. No time for losers, 'cause we are the champions.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of Italy. Ladies and gentlemen, and we proceed to the medal ceremony of the weight category of 56 kilograms. The medals are presented by Havranes Havsipan, Armenian Boxing Federation President, and Sabatino Di Girolamo, Mayor of Roseto degli Abruzzo. The AIBA prize money certificate is delivered by Susanna Toth, Vice Chairperson of the AIBA Competition Committee. The bronze medal in this weight category goes to Branch Pavel, representing Poland. And the second bronze medal goes to Kisilov Alexei, representing Russia. The silver medalist in this weight category is Hasan Adam Bryan, representing Ireland. And finally, gold medalist and the champion of EUBC Under-22 European Boxing Championship becomes Bazian Artur, representing Armenia.
Champions, my friends, and we'll keep on fighting till the end. We are the champions. We are the champions. No time for losers, 'cause we are the champions.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of Armenia. And we proceed with the medal ceremony of 69 kilograms. The medal ceremony is presented by Francesco Malapena and Veronica Cavalucci, sports assessor of Assisi. AIBA prize certificate is delivered by Istvan Kovac, AIBA General Secretary. The bronze medal in this weight category goes to Yanuzova Milis Nezhdedova, representing Bulgaria. The second bronze medal goes to Tour Shannon, representing France. Silver medalist in this weight category becomes Anfinagenova Anna, representing Russia. And finally, gold medalist and the champion of EUBC Under-22 European Boxing Championships becomes Angela Carini, representing Italy.
We are the champions, my friends, and we'll keep on fighting till the end. We are the champions, we are the champions. No time for losers, 'cause we are the champions.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of Italy. Give your warmest words to our medalist and champion. And we start the medal ceremony for the weight category of 75 kilograms. The medal ceremonies are presented by Istvan Bajkai, Hungarian Boxing Federation President, and Alberto Tappa, Italian Boxing Federation General Secretary. AIBA prize certificates are delivered by Susanna Toth, Vice Chairperson of the AIBA Competition Committee. The bronze medal in the weight category of 75 kilograms goes to Fendero Moreno, representing France. The second bronze medal goes to Tolmachov Bogdan, representing Ukraine. The silver medalist of this weight category is Schumann Kevin Boyak, representing Germany. And the gold medalist and the champion of a EUBC Under-22 European Boxing Championships becomes Voronov Nikita, representing Russia.
We are the champions, my friends, and we'll keep on fighting till the end. We are the champions. We are the champions. No time for losers, 'cause we are the champions.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of Russia. And we proceed with the medal ceremony of the weight category 81 kilograms. The medals are presented by Emanuele Ciampini, FPI Abruzzo President, and Yanis Filipatos, AIBA Medical Commission Chairperson. AIBA Prize Certificate is delivered by Istvan Kovac, AIBA General Secretary. The bronze medal in weight category of 81 kilograms goes to Althorov Alexei, representing Belarus. The second bronze medal goes to Kirikov Andrei, representing Moldova. The silver medalist of this weight category becomes Habakan Hambardzum, representing Armenia. And finally, gold medalist and the champion of EUBC Under-22 European Boxing Championships becomes Kolesnikov Ruslan, representing Russia.
We are the champions, my friends, and we'll keep on fighting till the end. We are the champions. We are the champions. No time for losers, 'cause we are the champions.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of Russia. And we proceed with the medal ceremony for the weight category of 91 kilograms. The medals are delivered by David Ciclauri, Georgian Boxing Federation President, and Salvatore Kerci, Italian Boxing Federation Executive Board Member. AIBA prize certificate is delivered by Susan Toth, Vice President, Vice Chairperson of the AIBA Competition Committee. Bronze medal in weight category of 91 kilograms go to Marley Jack Michael, representing Ireland. The second bronze medal goes to Berezniki Mateusz, representing Poland. The silver medalist in this weight category becomes Yardanian Artyom, representing Georgia. And finally, the gold medalist and the champion of EUBC Under-22 European Boxing Championships becomes Uzinian Vladimir, representing Russia.
We are the champions, my friends, and we'll keep on fighting till the end. We are the champions. We are the champions. No time for losing, 'cause we are the champions.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of Russia. And we start the medal ceremony for the weight category of 91 plus. The medals are delivered by Roberto Camarelli, Olympic champion, and Susanna Toth, Vice Chairperson of the AIBA Competition Committee. The bronze medal goes to Kadafa Drissi Iop, representing Spain. The second bronze medal goes to Kis Levante, representing Hungary. The silver medalist of this weight category is Begadze Nicholas, representing Georgia. And finally, gold medalist and champion of EUBC Under-22 European Boxing Championships becomes Lavchinsky Nicholas, representing Ukraine.
We are the champions, my friends, and we'll keep on fighting till the end. We are the champions. We are the champions. No time for losers, 'cause we are the champions.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of Ukraine. Give your warmest applause to our winners and champion.
moment we can lose your urge. I found a place, just another fact I have to face.